Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros. This is the Fantasy Football live stream. It is me, Joey P. Joe Pisapia. With me, of course, is the Undertaker, Andrew Erickson himself. And it's you. Happy Fantasy Championship Week, everybody. This is it. This is what we've been fighting for the last, 7-8 months that we've been going through this stuff. And we are here right at the precipice of winning the brass ring, winning the trophy, winning the belt, winning the money, the pride, all of the above. And Andrew Erickson's a guy who's got all these things. Sometimes he wears them all at once, even this pride, which he wears on his sleeve. Andrew Erickson, good morning, my friend. Stop looking so close to me. That's too close. It's very uncomfortable when you look that close to me. Anyway, we got a great show for you today. We're going to run through the news, the notes, what's happening for you, get your lineup set, get your questions answered. If you've got questions, we've got answers. Drop them in the chat below, and we're going to help carry you to fantasy glory. Andrew Erickson, the task is upon us. Are you ready? I said, are you ready to help people win fantasy gold?
Well, after Thursday's live stream, I don't know if anybody wants my advice anymore. So,
Well, luckily for you, I was still endorsing Elite Joe Flacco. So if people listen to me and faded Erickson, you're still alive. You're still doing okay. But I mean, to that point, another 300-yard game for Joe Flacco. Comeback player of the year, Joe Flacco. What do you say?
I mean, I don't
Yeah?
know. It really depends on what the voters decide to do with the Damar Hamlin thing.
Well, I
Right.
mean, one guy's playing. I mean, I'm glad Damar
That,
Hamlin is safe and
that
alive.
doesn't matter. If the voters have already decided that they want to give it to Hamlin, then he's going to win. It
No,
doesn't matter what Flacco
no,
does.
it does. He got the Browns to the playoffs. That is the spectacular feat of achievement. It's about playing. It's not about personal tragedy stories necessarily all the time. This is about a good football story in this case, and Joe Flacco is a great football story. So I think he should win this award, and I'm glad Damar Hamlin is healthy, safe, and back, living a normal life and playing some football. But again, Joe Flacco is a guy that just came off the couch and now put the Browns in the playoffs. To me, he is comeback player of the year, and maybe some of your fantasy teams need comebacks too. But before we get to your questions, today's stream is brought to you by a very special new sponsor, Smash Up Fantasy Sports. They're sponsoring today's live stream, and here you go. If you don't know what this is, stick around, kids, because this is fun. If you're one of the many people like me, you're a huge sports fan, and you're not ready for fantasy football season to end, and I am not, and I know you're not either, then you have to play Smash Up Fantasy Sports, the fastest growing game out there. In Smash Up, your fantasy team gets supercharged by these Smash cards, right? So it's like DFS meets Pokemon. It's really fun. It was like video game power-ups, basically, you get. And you can pick to boost certain scores of certain players or even your entire team. Like if you think your kicker's going to have a big game, you choose the big kick energy, which Andrew Erickson has a lot of big kick energy. I've seen it in person. I've seen him just display the big kicks over and over again. And you could use the big kick energy to power them up. Or if you're starting, let's say, Justin Fields, you could play the scramble spikes card to score more from his rushing yards. So you pair the cool visuals, the Smash Up, the biggest innovation in fantasy sports in a very long time. And it really feels like it was designed for sports fans. And here is the best part. You can play for free and win fantastic prizes. No credit card needed, no hidden fees, none of that stuff. All users receive 3 entries per week, but with your promo code FantasyPros, you can unlock a 4th entry every single week from now through the Super Bowl. So enter now at smashupsports.com. That's smashupsports.com and join the future of fantasy today.
Joe, you want to hear my lineup that I built?
I do. Yes, I do.
Right, so
does it have Charizard in it and
no, I don't
Pokemon?
have. So I don't have any of the unlockable boosts yet because you get them
Yet.
as you
Keyword is
accumulate
yet.
through putting in lineups. So again, you get 4 lineups with the code Fantasy Pros. So I built this one last night. Feel pretty good about it. Again, it's a salary cap, so similar to some of the DFS sites. So you can't just play all the studs. Like you have to fit in some bad players here and there. So I'm paying up for Kyron Williams and Christian McCaffrey because I want
Yes,
those
good call.
guys in my lineup. It's standard scoring. Running backs score the most points, touchdowns. I want those guys in my lineup. So I'm starting both those running backs. Also got DeAndre Swift, another good running back I like in the flex this week. A receiver, Terry McLaurin. I think he can have a bounce back game with Jacoby Brissett. I like him in that stack kind of game with McCaffrey on the other side. And then the gross stack that's saving me all this money to get me all these guys is Jarrett Stidham, Jerry Jeudy, and Gerald Everett. So a little Denver Chargers stack. I don't know, man.
Cortland Sutton's out. Why not try it?
I mean, if Jerry Jeudy was ever going to have a good game, it would happen this week because it's a new quarterback. There's no Cortland Sutton, and sometimes this happens. So, yeah, that's what I would roll with. And kicker, Kaimi Fairbairn against the Tennessee Titans, and then Denver defense.
Yes, I know you love the kickers. Oliver Cole, first question here for Championship Week 17, full PPR. Pick one, CEH, Monty, or Connor. Appreciate the advice. Happy New Year, says Oliver.
David Montgomery for me. I
Okay,
just don't know
Manny.
right now with Pacheco. Now, seeming like
Yeah,
he's going to play. Just
yeah,
can't
that's
risk it.
the worm is turning here a little bit. I still can't believe we're getting there with Pacheco. I think they're gonna push this kid too much. Like, I don't know. I mean, he just seems like he needs a little bit of a
Well, I
respite
think that
here.
they're trying to. I mean, if they win this game, then they can rest next week. So,
I guess, but
I don't know.
what cost, right? I mean, you don't want this kid not being available for the playoffs in the first round. That's the thing. Like between the surgery he had, the concussion, he's had some other injuries too. I mean, he runs really hard. I love Pacheco, but it might be smarter to just take this week. But I understand they're getting desperate over there. Manny Espinoza, please help. First time in the championship game. Oh, congratulations, Manny. Who should I start? Ferguson or Likely? I like Likely. I'm a Likely guy right now.
Yeah,
I love what
likely
I'm
for
seeing out of
me.
that guy. Higgins or Addison as a wide receiver 3. I've got Tyreek Hill and DK as 1 and 2, and I've got Demarcus Robinson and Gabe Davis on my bench. So Higgins, Addison, Gabe Davis, Demarcus Robinson. You have any feelings about those guys?
Probably just play Higgins. He's the number 1 target. I don't think
Okay.
Chase is going to play.
All right, no, I don't think so either. Jared Fournier stashed 3 defenses for my final matchup. Philly, Denver, Rams. It's a lot of defenses. Which one gets the start?
I'm playing Denver. That's what I've been going with for everyone that's asked me. So I'm just going to ride or die with the Broncos at home
There
against
you
the
go.
Easton Stick.
Adam Southwick. Hey there. I need to win my first ever championship. All right, Adam, here we go. Need a flex help in a standard non PPR. Need 3. Mostert, Aaron Jones, Rushy Rice, Singletary, Chandler, and I have Jacobs and White too. So if the Jacob scenario gives us clarity in the next 24 hours, is Amir White over any of those guys for you that you see, or we're going from the Mostert, Jones, Rice grouping?
It's Mostert, White, and Chandler for me. It's
Mostert,
standard.
White, and Chandler for you in a standard. Okay, that makes sense too, going with all the running backs. James Sweeney, flex help, need full PPR. Zay Flowers, Addison, Zeke, Noah Brown. So I'm not sure how many. Also, RB, Pollard, or Ty Chandler. Let's do that one first because that's in one or the other. Pollard or
Pollard
Chandler?
and then Zay Flowers.
Zay Flowers and Pollard. Enzo, Pittman, or Zeke for the flex? I like Pittman. All right. It's Carter, Stafford, or Stroud. I'm playing Stafford against the Giants. Stafford's been tremendous. Damn wild. Josh Allen or Jared Goff?
Josh Allen.
Yes. You can't sit the number 1 fantasy quarterback. And like it or not, Josh Allen's the number 1 fantasy quarterback in points. James, half PPR. Bench 1. Diggs, Olave, Rice. Who's the odd man out?
Diggs.
Yep. Jennifer Hafner, a good pal Jen, need 1 for the flex. Chan, Higgins, Ty Chandler. Thanks, guys. Made it to the ship. Of course you did, because you're here every single live stream, Jen. That's why you made it to the ship, because you are a P1 over here at Fantasy Pros. All right, so what do we do here? Chan, Higgins, Ty Chandler. 2 are in, 1 is out. Who's out?
2 are in. So Higgins is out for me.
Higgins is out. I would agree. Go with the running backs. Mark Bova, championship level decision, guys. Pick 2 for the half PPR. Diggs, Kamara, Zamir White, Chan. Thank you.
I'm just gonna take Kamara and Zamir White.
Okay. AG, good morning, guys. I have a tough choice here. Half PPR. Need to sit 2 between Devontae Adams, Nico Collins, Zamir White, Ty Chandler, and DK Metcalf. Happy New Year. All right. So who is out from this grouping here? Now, the Raiders had a hard time moving the football last week. The scores on defense is where they got the offense coming from. So I don't know how I feel about Devontae Adams here. I know Nico Collins just getting back too. So do you have a feeling here about who are the 2 people that you would take out of this lineup?
I mean, I think that the safest decision is to take out the receivers, just because they're just more naturally going to be volatile versus running backs that have
Well,
more
Adams was that one for me too. I just wasn't feeling
confirmed
it.
workload. So
But
I mean, you
which
do only have 2
receivers?
running backs.
I'm playing DK this week. I have to play DK this week. I feel like it's a good matchup.
I mean, I feel like Nico is in the best spot. I mean, just look at the game logs of him and Stroud. Like he's a
So who are
and
the
there's
2
no
guys out? You're taking Devontae and DK out?
I'd much rather
See,
take DK out.
in a half PPR, to me, it's all about the touchdown equity, right? So I'm looking for touchdowns. Devontae Adams with Aiden O'Connell, I don't know how much touchdown equity he has, so he is out. Nico Collins does have touchdown equity. So does Zamir. Again, Ty Chandler, Metcalf. I just might fade the Raiders offense altogether here and sit Adams and White, play Chandler, DK, and Nico. To me, those are my best options for touchdowns. I like the way Zamir White has run, to be honest. He looks really good, but that's what I would do.
And
What about you?
and I guess the thing with the Raiders too is like you can't again, this offense is so hot and cold. Like, we saw them score 0 points against the Vikings and score 63 against the Chargers, and then they had another bad game last week, and now they're playing the
Mhm.
Colts. It's not the Colts defense is this juggersome unit that you need
No,
to
but
be
they are on
afraid
the
of.
road too. Is a
Yeah, but
road
they're also
game
in a
too.
dome. So it's just like, I mean, no one would be
Mhm.
surprised if Aiden O'Connell goes from throwing 5 touchdowns to then completing 6 passes the next week, where he then does good again. So I get that if you want to fade the Raiders offense altogether, I think that makes sense. I think for me, it's like, I don't know. I don't really see the need to necessarily play DK Metcalf. I don't know.
I don't know.
I
I
mean,
think
if he
that one
gets
game is such an outlier for O'Connell against the Chargers. I don't know. That's just my take. I know he had a good game against Miami too.
that's what I mean. Like, he's just been up and down, like really inconsistent. Like, he's had
You know,
good
it's
games, he's
funny in
had
that
bad games.
271 that he had against Miami, he only had 12 fantasy points.
Well, I mean, it's not just about him. It's about,
I know, but
outside the end zone.
I understand it's about him, right? But I mean, I guess my point is, like, if I'm gonna put my faith here in the championship, and this is a tough one here, AG's got a really tough one. I'm gonna put it in the hands of Gino, of CJ Stroud. Like, those are the guys I'm going to try to start. Like, if you don't want to do this, then to Erickson's point earlier, then sit more wide receivers and play all the running backs. Because if you play all the running backs, then you got a situation where, you're going to touch the football. And that would be Chandler, White get in, and then you pick one of the receivers. So between Adams, Nico, and Metcalf, who's your favorite one of those three guys?
Try Nico. I think
It's
he has the
Nico
highest
still. Okay.
ceiling.
All right. This is a tough one.
Yeah.
Skeezy, full PPR. Pick 2, Ty Chandler, Monty, Zeke, Derrick Henry. Thanks, guys. Happy New Year. Thanks, Keys. Happy New Year to
Chandler
you,
and
buddy.
Montgomery.
Chandler and Montgomery. Brian Jenkins, the Jenkins boy. Oh, I'm sorry, Brian Jerkins. Sorry, he's a Jerkins. He's one of the Jerkins fellas. Stroud or Fields?
Fields and
Zamir White or Chandler?
Chandler.
And I have CMC, Swift, Okonkwo, Puka, and 49ers defense, Jake Elliott, and Singleton as IDP. Listen, you have CMC. I don't think you're losing this week, Bubba. I mean, Jerkins, I think you're good. Anthony Ramos, hey, pros. RB room, is Zamir White a good start over Eckler or Henry?
I think he's pretty on par with Eckler. I don't think there's a big difference between the two. I think if it's full PPR, I'd probably want Eckler, but if
Okay,
it's
we've already got
not, probably
Kyron Williams, so
White.
I would just take the floor here, don't you think?
I think both guys have floors. I
So
mean,
who's the
again,
better?
he doesn't say what the format is, so that's why I can't confidently say that it'd be taking Eckler if it's not full PPR.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I have Kyron Williams, and for tight end, McBride or Waller. Well, you're playing McBride. Also have Likely, but I still play McBride. McBride gets way too many targets. Wide receiver room, I have Jaden Reed, Noah Brown, CeeDee Lamb, and Mike Evans. Look, this is a pretty good team. If you've got Kyron Williams, you've got Mike Evans, CeeDee Lamb, you should be there in the thick of it. You should be right there. One stick 50H. We have full PPR, Zamir White or Barkley.
White.
Damn wild. Am I boring you? I know it's early in the morning, Erickson. Did you get your coffee this morning?
I did not know. I did not
What are
get
you
my
doing? You
coffee.
can't answer questions without the coffee first.
Well, no,
You
now I
gotta.
have to use the bathroom while I'm on the live stream. I can't
Well,
help
you do that
anybody.
before the show too. It's the pre-show thing. You played sports. This is what you do. You have to do the whole thing. You have the coffee, you have the pre-show, you know what, and then you come here and you rock it. That's high performance
Sometimes
level
my
stuff.
body doesn't do that.
Well, when you get to my age, it does. Damn wild QB, Allen or Goff? Allen. Cole
Yes.
Pfeiffer. Hey guys, thanks for everything this year. You're welcome, Cole. Good news in the ship. Bad news, I started Garrett Wilson. Should I chase points and start Achane over Aaron Jones? That's a good question. I think Jones might have more points like that you can lock in.
I disagree.
You
I'd
disagree?
rather
Okay,
start
let's sell
Achane.
them on Achane. I love Achane. Let's talk about why.
Well, they need explosive playmakers. Jalen
Mhm.
Waddle's not going to play in this game. So
Okay.
if the Ravens decide, hey, we're going to throw everything at Tyreek Hill, then who's the next guy the Dolphins are going to get the ball to? Achane.
That's fair. That is fair.
I think
All right,
it's a bad matchup for Jones. Like,
no, it's not a great matchup for Jones. You're right. I just want to make sure somebody's touching the football. That's all. But you're right. Like, Achane is explosive and fun. J Vogue 6. And if you're behind already, probably the way to catch up. J Vogue 6. Thanks for all the help throughout the season. Pick 2. Kamara, Bijan, Cooper Cup, and Puka Nacua. I'm playing the 2 guys with the Rams against the G-Men. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm going. No, I want you to be excited about it. I don't want you to say it's fine. I want you to be.
I mean, I like Bijan, but again, you can only like him.
You
as,
could say
as
who.
far
You
as
could
Arthur
say
Smith.
this is an open place here. I don't want you to get in
but
your
that doesn't
head
help
because of
that doesn't
Thursday.
help the person.
Look, just because you didn't support the League of Joes on Thursday properly like I did, doesn't mean you should get off your game here. You give him your picks. I'll give him. I'm starting the Rams guys. You're starting Bijan and who?
Puka.
Okay. Kolija, Dak or Purdy?
Dak.
Todd Palmer, Rams or Vegas defense? Vegas defense, but it was a big points last time.
Rams.
Okay. Ron Cloth, PPR flex, likely Singletary or Noah Brown.
Singletary.
Brittany Rolls, thanks for your help this season. You're welcome, Brittany. Full PPR flex, Jacoby Myers, Zamir White, CH or OBJ.
White.
Just Flow, full PPR, 2 wide receivers, 1 flex. Rashid Shaheed, Brandon Cooks, Romeo Dobbs, CEH or Zamir White, 2 wides and a flex.
I like Cooks.
Cooks,
I like
Dobbs, and
Zamir
White.
White and CEH. 2 wide. Oh, he's only 2
No,
wide receivers.
2 wide receivers. Cooks, Dobbs, White. That's what
Cooks and Dobbs and Zamir White.
That's what I said. We're in agreement. Okay. E Pluribus Ethereum. Half PPR. Flex Pollard, Achan Flowers, Hopkins. Who gets the flex?
Pollard.
Okay. Sean Dixon. Pick 3. Mostert, Zeke, Jones, Walker, or Javonte Williams. 3 are in. Mostert's in.
Yeah, Mostert, Walker, full PPR. Probably going Zeke.
Okay, so Zeke over Aaron Jones for you. Okay. Johnny Sanchez, thank you for getting me to the championship pros. That's it. That's all Johnny wanted to say. Thanks, Johnny. Appreciate you, man. Congratulations. Now go win it. Richard Casperius, risk it with Chase or just play Zamir White. I don't think you're going to have this problem. I think I'd be shocked if Chase plays at this point.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So just play Zamir White.
Yeah. I know it's Saturday and we're doing the show and you get a lot more news on Sunday morning about these guys definitive. So I know we're kind of hyperboleing or looking at things in a little bit of a different lens than we usually do on Sunday, but it's unlikely you're going to get him. Raymond Stajan, pros, Rashad White or Zamir White, a battle of 2 whites.
Rashad White.
Agreed. Jew Williams, full PPR, Mostert versus Ravens or ATN versus the Panthers. Who has the highest ceiling?
ATN.
ATN, okay. Baker or Love, and that's from John K.
Baker.
Yeah, Baker time. Let's go. All the Baker Mayfield. Edge of wetness.
Gross.
Faced with these QB options, who should you start? Jaron Hall, Tyrod Taylor, or Jarrett Stidham? I'm starting Tyrod.
I'd start Jarrett Stidham.
I'm taking the rushing equity with Tyrod. He can
Oh,
run.
do you see Jarrett Stidham's rushing yards prop this week?
No, what is it?
30 yards, because he ran a ton the last time that he played last year. Like, I honestly forgot. I looked at it, I was like, wait.
That's
what?
true. Yeah, that's a good
point. I looked at it, I was like, oh my God.
But even without Cortland Sutton, too, like that, like, maybe
it's the Chargers. The Chargers are so bad on defense. They're playing in the dome. Like,
they were a little better last week.
At home.
They only gave up 22 points to the
the Bills were like sleepwalking through that entire game.
Well, just saying. All right, speaking of championships, we're giving away something cool here. Trophy Smack Championship Belt giveaway. If you've battled your way this far and you've made it to week 17, you deserve a prize fit for a real champion. So why not enter Trophy Smack's Ultimate Fantasy Football Championship Belt giveaway? To qualify, simply subscribe right here to Fantasy Pros YouTube channel, comment on any video this week, and this custom championship belt isn't just your reward, it's a testament to your strategic prowess and your season-long dedication. Make your victory unforgettable with Trophy Smack's ultimate symbol of fantasy football supremacy. And while you're at it, turn on those notifications so you can be alerted when new episodes are up of the show and to claim your prize. And don't worry, we've got content well into January, February for you. We're going to be talking football all year long in 2024. So make sure you stay on the channel if you just can't get enough football talk, and I know you can't. Let's get to the next one here. Derek M. Happy New Year, y'all. Limped into the ship. Doesn't matter. You made it, Derek. Superflex, half PPR, 4-point passing touchdown. Mason Rudolph, Jaron Hall, Zamir White. Thanks, gents. I get that ship. Now, look, in Superflex, we usually play the quarterback here. So Rudolph, Hall, I know are kind of low end here. Then Zamir White is that pivot point. So which way you want to go?
Jaron Hall.
All right, Kyle Pfluger. Sup, dudes? Elliott or Eckler?
I'll play Eckler.
If Flowers sits, Pop Douglas or Noah Brown in his place?
Douglas.
Okay. Let's get to Piro86. Goff, Fields, or Browning?
Fields.
No Cap Soul. DeMarcus Robinson or Shaheed?
Shaheed.
Kid Moto, half PPR. Pacheco if he plays. Ty Chandler or Chuba Hubbard?
Ty Chandler.
Is that Ty Chandler regardless if Pacheco plays?
Yeah, it's regardless.
I would agree. All right. There you go. Lana Mitchell, hello. Zamir White, Chandler, or Javonte Williams, pick 2 of the full PPR.
White and Chandler.
Done. John Smith, full PPR. Flex, Diggs, or Zamir White?
White.
Barber, Edwards, Scissorhands 916. Tua, Lamar, or Stroud in the full PPR?
Lamar.
Yes. Lucas Azevedo, Jaguars defense or Broncos defense?
Broncos.
I know you love your Broncos. Stink Mangione. Thanks, guys, for helping me to the championship finals. Going to miss you after the season. No, don't worry. We're not going anywhere. We're still talking football. Just hang out with us. One for the road. If Flowers can't play, should I start Reed or Shaheed in the flex?
Reed.
Okay. Rissa 1382. First year playing fantasy and playing for the fantasy ship. That's pretty good. Championship in their first year. Not too shabby. That's not beginner's luck. That's work. Full PPR. Pick 2. Connor, Zeke, Chandler, Zamir White.
Chandler and Zamir White.
And then Rissa says, Ditka versus the Hurricane. Who wins? It's Ditka. Ditka wins against the Hurricane. I think that mustache is a little tougher for Ditka. And the Hurricane is soft at the end of the day, especially inside the storm. All right, let's go to Christopher E. Full PPR. Pick 3. Pollard, Henry, Monty, Ty Chandler, Zamir White.
Pollard, Monty, Ty Chandler.
Matthew Fazendario. Full PPR. Warren, Higgins, or Ridley in the flex.
Higgins.
Adam William, James Conner, or Bijan Robinson?
Bijan.
Tara Robertson, championship round. Let's go, Tara. 2 questions for you. Goff or Carr?
Goff.
DK or Zeke? Happy
DK.
PPR. DK. Happy New Year. We're in agreement, Tara. Hopefully it works. Adam William, James Conner, or Bijan Robinson?
Bijan.
Mike Chuddy. Hey, guys. Happy New Year. Do you say Happy New Year's or Happy New Year? Because I see that everybody does different things. I always say Happy New Year.
I can tell you what I do. I don't know.
You're just hungover.
I think maybe Happy New Year's. I don't know. I
think it's Happy New Year, but people say Happy New Year's.
Well, I think you say that like on New Year's Eve,
especially my cousins,
because I think that's like Happy New Year's, like you're celebrating New Year's, which is on like New Year's Eve, but then on the actual day on January 1st, say Happy New Year. So maybe it's both.
So it's semantics by time.
I would think so, because I think like Happy New Year's is just a shorter way to say Happy New Year's.
I can tell our producer John right now is Googling this. I can tell in his face. Like we've done enough shows together now that I know when John's like, these two idiots have no idea what they're talking about. They're just making things up. All right, here we go. Here's the answer. It's simple. Never. Happy New Year's implies that there are 2 New Years, which is what I was implying, that that's incorrect, which you're extending good wishes. Since only one New Year will actually be new, you have to drop the S. So correct, everybody. Happy New Year. That being said, Happy New Year's, says Mike. So he's wishing us many years of happiness. I've got Chandler and Mixon starting, Barkley in the flex. Should I start Barkley or Jaden Reed in the flex or Shaheed?
I'm starting Jaden Reed.
Okay. Reed or Higgins? That's from 5'9". Stephen Moreland, Zeke, Eckler, Zamir. 1 sits. Who's out?
Zeke.
Sports from the couch. My favorite thing. Zamir White, Barkley, Aaron Jones, Singletary, or Monty? Start 2 guys.
White and Monty. And
happy holidays and championship week. Same to you, sports. All right, Engaged Reiki. Bros, Engaged Reiki is in the finals. I like that Engaged Reiki talks about Engaged Reiki in the third person. Not sure about Jamar Chase. Should I start Jameson tonight and hope for Chase?
Hope's not strategy, so play Jameson if that's your next best option.
What about Andre Yoshivas?
I don't really want to play him. I'd rather play Jameson.
Right.
Are you going to bail on Jameson when he's finally starting to get more uptick in the offense?
No, the total's enough to try it. I just like Yoshivas.
It'd be one thing if Jameson wasn't seeing. I mean, his usage has gone up. Like they need explosive playmakers, and maybe this is finally his breakout game. Who knows?
Maybe. I also have Jameson Woodruff has a question.
QJ. Anything with him.
Hold on. Let me get the whole question out. I was skipping ahead. Jameson Woodruff. Shh. It's okay. It's okay, Andrew. Everything's gonna be fine. I want you to look forward. Look, I want you to close your eyes and think about clouds and puppies. After Thursday, I'm projected to lose by 20 points. Am I right to start Achane over Chuba for the upside? Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
I also have QJ. That doesn't matter. Josh Downs or Jameson Williams, is that better?
Both are better. Like you cannot start. QJ is gonna get less targets than my brother Alex Erickson. Okay. So
Achane it is. JK47, half PPR. Ayuk, Chandler, or Zamir?
Ayuk.
Flamehawk 100. I need an RB2, half PPR. Pick 1. Zeke, Zamir, Chandler, Pollard. I'm already starting Gibbs.
He needs 1. I would start Chandler.
All right, next one here is Tua or Carr. Craig Brune's question.
I think we still start Tua.
Nancy Bontempi, Flowers or Higgins in the half PPR?
Flowers.
Edgar 28 DLR, PPR flex, Demarcus Robinson, CH, or Jerry Jeudy?
Jerry Jeudy.
The smirk on your face, I could see it. You're like the Grinch. And Andrew
Look,
Erickson's hot for three sizes that
all I'm
day.
saying is what I want to say for this week in particular. Last week, it was the Mike Evans game. Mike Evans sucked all year long, but we all saw progression was coming. Like he had it. Like he was seeing all the usage. So one of these guys that's been underwhelming all year long is going to go off. And I think it could be Jerry Jeudy just based on everything that's changing in the offense because change makes things happen. We saw with DeAndre Hopkins when they put Will Levis in. What happened? He got 3 touchdowns in his first game.
Change makes things happen. That's right. Change makes things happen. I
Jerry
like that.
Jeudy.
Gonna make a change. Oh, that's a better one. I like the Bowie one better. Time may change me, but I can't change time. All right, let's go to Mr. D-Town 214TKX. It just sounds like a play that Peyton Manning would run. Zeke Eckler or Joe Mixon? Pick one in the full PPR.
Eckler.
Jose L. Achan or Warren PPR League.
Achan.
Karashan Somu. Stafford or Fields?
Fields.
God, I love Stafford so much this week. Flex between Monty, Zeke, D-Rob, Higgins, Gus Edwards.
Monty.
Mark Castaneda. Mark Castaneda. Full PPR. Wide receiver 2. Higgins or Flowers?
Flowers.
Jones or Henry?
Jones.
Jay Shotcha. Walker, Reed, Piggins. I made Piggins and Higgins one person. Made him Piggins. Let's try this again. Walker, Reed, Pickens, or Higgins in the full point PPR flex spot.
Reed.
Tyler Packer, PPR, pick 2. Chase, Pollard, or Zeke?
Pollard, Zeke.
Anthony Ramos, Happy New Year, Anthony. Matthew Turley, thanks for all the help this year. Love you guys. We love you too, Matt. Pick 1 defense for the ship. Rams versus Giants, Bears versus Atlanta, or Raiders versus Indianapolis?
Bears.
Bears. SM Smeejam. Smeejam? Yeah, let's go with Smeejam. Mixon or CH, assuming Pacheco is out?
CH.
Matt Martino, Zeke or Zamir, the battle of the Z's?
Zamir.
Johnny Sanchez, Reed, Higgins, or Godwin in the flex PPR?
Godwin.
Eric Watson, full PPR, pick 2. Kamara, Zamir White, CEH, Zeke Achan. Already played Brees for the championship.
Kamara and White.
And you got a touchdown there from Brees. That's good. 10,000 noodles. Is CEH going to play?
I think that he's going to play. I know he's questionable, but I think he's going to. I think it's really more about Pacheco than anything else. I would be concerned about Edwards.
Pacheco is way more concerning to me, too. FBA 7B1, Noah Brown or Walker in the half PPR flex for the ship. I'm taking Walker.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Walker.
100%. Greg Jesse, Superflex, have Mahomes, 6-point touchdown. Jarrett Stidham, Hall, Levis, Stick or Brissett as QB2. I'm going to say Brissett.
Yeah, assuming Brissett's hamstring is okay. If not, then I would play Stidham.
Endico, Happy New Year, pros. Need to know which tight end will carry me to the championship, Laporta or Ferguson. You got to play Laporta. He's the number 1 tight end in fantasy. How do you sit that guy?
Well, I mean, Njoku has something to say about that.
Oh, David Njoku, unlocked by elite.
He's the number 1. Well, I mean, he's the number 1 tight end since week 7. Even before Joe Flacco showed up.
Joe Flacco opens the keys to doors he didn't even know had keys. That's what Joe Flacco is.
Whose car is this? It's mine now.
My favorite, too, is I'm seeing a lot of memes about Joe Flacco having to play the Ravens in round 1 of the playoffs, potentially, or something like that, where, you're seeing the Shawn Michaels super kicking Ric Flair and saying, I'm sorry, I love you, and then kicking Ric Flair in the face. It's like the Ravens and the Joe Flacco on the other side. Like, there's a lot of these memes going around. One was New Jack City, but I can't, you won't get that. John and I will laugh about it. But that was another one where Wesley Snipes is crying and he's Joe Flacco and he has to take out the Ravens. It's very funny. Lucas Azevedo, James Cook or Zamir White?
Cook.
Adam Anderson. Thanks. I'm in the championship PPR. Gino or Minshew? Tyrod on waivers.
Gino.
Definitely Gino. Gen B, half PPR, pick 2. Javonte Williams, Rashee Rice, Ty Chandler, Jaden Reed.
We go with Rice and Chandler.
All right, Mike SS. I need some help. Josh Allen or Dak, and which defense should I use? Seattle, Dallas, or Carolina?
I'm going to play Josh Allen. I'm going to play Seattle.
Sydney Blackmore. PPR, choose 1. CEH, Warren, Javonte.
CH.
Sotcal, bench 1. James Cook, Zeke, Eckler, White, or CH?
Going to bench.
CH would be the god man out in this grouping for me, unless
I'd bench.
Pacheco was out.
Yeah. And
So
if
let's
not,
say
then
Pacheco's out, then who
Zeke.
becomes the odd man out? Zeke.
Bench
I
Zeke.
would agree. Okay, so we're on the same page. There you go. SoCal, we gave you both options there. The figure report, Stafford or Mahomes?
Mahomes.
Pedro Hernandez, Deontay Johnson, McBride, or Zeke in the full PPR flex? I know we don't usually say flex a tight end, but it's hard to sit McBride in a full PPR, man. That dude's been
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
wildly good. I'm playing McBride. All right, J Championship, pick 2. Half PPR, Kamara, Eckler, Zamir White, Higgins. It's all the same players.
Kamara and Zamir
All
White.
the same guys today. Detner. I sit Diggs, Devonta Smith, or Higgins to start Zamir White?
I would sit. Yeah, you can sit either Diggs or Higgins. I don't really care which
pick
one.
one. Pick one.
Sit Higgins then.
Sit Higgins. Okay. MTS 9203. Goff, Baker, or Murray? I gotta play Goff.
I'm gonna play Goff. Yeah.
Synaptic Flare. Sit 1. Ridley. KW3. Chuba Hubbard. PPR. I'm sitting Chuba.
I'm sitting Ridley.
Sitting Ridley. Okay. Why?
Because Trevor Lawrence isn't playing.
That's fair.
I mean, Ridley is the Gabe Davis of the South, and now he doesn't have a starting quarterback. So I'm not playing Calvin Ridley with a 10-foot pole.
All right. Don't forget, everybody, if you haven't already, sync your leagues. There's still plenty of time here with MyPlaybook before the championship games kick off today. So you can go ahead and download that at FantasyPros.com/MyPlaybook. It's a great thing to have for all your dynasty teams, too. So sync all your leagues with MyPlaybook or download the Fantasy Football MyPlaybook app wherever you get your apps. And remember, we can help you manage all of your last-minute decisions here. Since we are not around tomorrow, today, my friends, is the live stream. Let's get back to your questions here. Nathan, Lara, Kelsey, or Laporta already have Gibbs at full flex PPR.
Who's he been starting all year long? That's what I want to know, Nathan.
I mean, at this point, how do you not play Laporta? That's the thing.
I mean, Kelsey's playing the worst defense against tight ends. That's how.
Look, you want to play Kelsey? I got no problem with that. Kelsey has 12 points, 12 points, 10 points, 11 points, 5 points, 7 points. Now, I know that doesn't matter too much in the sense of, well, what have you done for me lately? But, I mean, Laporta has 15, 25, now 4. That was a bad game. 26, and then 3 last week, and he's going against Dallas this week.
He has a larger range of outcomes. As Kelsey's more consistent, because of just he's the number 1 guy in the offense. If the Chiefs' offense does anything, Kelsey's going to have a good game. So I'll play Kelsey.
All right, now, and you're still playing, and I would play Gibbs over both of them in a flex, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
yeah. Mindset and Mastery, Cup or ATN and PPR?
I'm playing ATN.
Yeah, I don't care about this opponent has XYZ nonsense. It doesn't matter. You have to play your best guys in order to win. That is the biggest overrated thing in fantasy. I hate that, where people start freaking out about, well, this person has this person. It doesn't matter who that person has. Play your best players. That's what you got to do.
Yeah, unless you could somehow do the math out where it's the last game left and you can strategically approach it as, okay, well, based on everything that's already, we can't do it before the matchups start. It's impossible to calculate what guys are going to do.
Yeah. Just to kind of fly through some things for everybody, too. Nico Collins, removed from the injury report. Deebo Samuel, removed from the injury report. Darius Slay will also not play. So another, game missed for him against the Cardinals. Yeah. So, it's like the 3rd game in a row, I believe, now he's going to miss. Maybe 4 we're up to. Brock Purdy was removed from the injury report, so he's going to play this week. We mentioned Nico. He's going to be in this week. Zay Flowers. Now, he didn't practice Wednesday or Thursday, but, hopefully with a limited session, he can.
He didn't do this. He didn't practice last week either.
Right. Same kind of thing happened last week. Dolphins, Tyreek Hill was removed from the injury report as well. Devon Achane was removed also, so they expect him to play. Pete Carroll told us that DK Metcalf is expected to play with that back issue. So just kind of get you guys all up to speed on what's happening here in the last 24 hours. We know with the holidays, things have been crazy. Debo being removed from the injury report, also a big one too. Now Kyler Murray is questionable with an illness. I guess he's got some kind of flu thing potentially. So that's something we have to be concerned with too. But Josh Jacobs is doubtful. So you're probably going to get Zamir White more likely than not, everybody. That's kind of where things are
Kyler
at.
Murray is sick of not being able to sit at home and play Call of Duty.
Right. Coach, I got a cold.
I'm sick of going to work and I want to play Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Kyler.
Get that headset on. Mindset Mastery, Cup or ATN in the PPR?
ATN.
Oh, we did this one. Michael Forker, or Fourquois, I guess, in the French. Would you sit Mixon for any of these guys? Amir White, Chandler, or Zeke?
I'd sit him for White and Chandler.
Okay. The figure report, Ridley, Cooks, or Flowers in non-PPR?
Flowers.
T-Real, Mahomes or Stroud?
Mahomes.
Z-Man is the man. Half PPR flex spot in the ship, Devonta Smith or Zamir White?
White.
Benny Binder, full PPR, pick 1, Pollard, Singletary, Reed.
Pollard.
Mar, Thielen or Achan in my flex spot?
Achan.
Dominique Mariscal, Raiders, Chargers, or Jags defense?
Jags.
The Jags. Decipher, pros, Young, Brissett, Tyrod, or Stidham for all the marbles.
Brissett if he plays, and if not, Stidham.
And Cypher was playing Russ all year and somehow still got there. That's pretty tremendous. You gotta love it. Next quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Russell Wilson, ladies and gentlemen. Tony Montez, PPR, pick 2, London, Pickens, JSN, Jaden Reed.
JSN, Jaden Reed.
Agreed. Sabelo Mithumbu. I'd like to buy a vowel. Ezekiel Elliott or Zamir White?
White.
Bonnie Poe. Should I flex Pacheco if he plays? Singletary, Brandon Cooks, or Ingram?
I'd play Singletary.
Agreed. Thank you for everything. You're welcome, Bonnie. Go get him. Jeff Padilla, Likely or Goddard in the full PPR?
Likely.
Yeah, I love Likely, man. Likely's been so fun to watch. Josh Holt, full PPR. Warren or CEH?
CH.
Samar Baines, full PPR. Start 2, James Cook, Eckler, Singletary, Montgomery. Thanks.
Cook and Montgomery.
Jeff Rux, half PPR. Brandon Cooks or Drake London?
Cooks.
Sonny Helms, half PPR. Montgomery, Connor, Vikings, Chandler, or Kamara need 2?
Kamara and Montgomery.
Kamara and Montgomery. J Monty 703, Connor, Zeke, or Zamir? Non-PPR.
Zamir.
Okay, next one here is D Shiznit, Zamir White or Zay Flowers?
Zay Flowers.
Agreed. Eddie Machiavelli, full PPR. Monty or Connor?
Monty.
Ray Stewart, Walker or Zamir White?
Zamir White.
Connor McDonald, Stroud or Mayfield?
Stroud.
Darius Richards, Singletary or CEH?
CH.
All right. Now, just a reminder, too, today's stream is brought to you by a new sponsor, and that sponsor is Smash Up Fantasy Sports. So if you're like us and you don't want fantasy season to ever end, you have a new way to play, and that's Smash Up Fantasy Sports, the fastest growing game out there. In Smash Up, your teams get supercharged by Smash cards, which are basically like video game power-ups, and you can boost the scores of your players or even your entire team, and you unlock them by playing. So you got to play so you can unlock them. They got the big kick energy. They got the scramble spikes and a whole lot more fun things that you can go out there and play on your players and get the power-ups, and you pair it with the cool visuals. Smash Ups is the biggest innovation in fantasy sports in quite some time. Look at that stuff, man. That is cool looking stuff. It looks like Endgame, but fantasy football. Sign me up, baby. Smash Up is the biggest innovation in a long time in fantasy, and it is here and designed for you, sports fans out there. And here's the best part. You can play for free and win fantastic prizes. You don't need a credit card. You don't need any hidden fees or any of that nonsense. All users receive 3 entries per week. But with the promo code FantasyPros, you'll unlock a 4th one every week from now through the Super Bowl. So enter now at smashupsports.com and join the future of fantasy today. All right, let's get to some more questions. Here's Homeboy, Khalil Herbert, or Devon Achane. I'm playing Achane.
Achane.
Achane it is. A question for you. You think Jacob's time is done with Vegas? I do. I think they move on to Zamir, the younger guy, next year.
I mean, they could just. I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, it all depends on what they do with their head coach. like that.
I think they're going to keep their head coach. I don't think they're going to make the same mistake twice. Because when Bisaccia took over and they made it to the playoffs.
That matters then too.
Well, that's what you do. You bring in an offensive coordinator and you figure out what you're going to do at quarterback. But I think more to the point is, they did this dance a couple years ago with Bisaccia, and then they got to the playoffs, and everybody loved him. The guys wrote letters. He wrote letters to every player. Do you remember that? Like, yeah. I mean, the guys loved him, and they played for him. And they played hard, and they almost beat the Bengals, who went on to the Super Bowl that year. And then they went out there, and then they hired, Josh McDaniels, and we all know how that's gone. And now we're in a situation where, are you going to do that twice? Antonio Pierce has gotten these guys to play. I don't think Pierce is going anywhere. And I think he deserves that job, and I think he's a good football coach. He was a great player. He was a great leader when he was here in New York with the Giants, so I think he's going to stick around. All right, let's get to the next question. Juhi, pick 2, Achane, James Conner, Jaden Reed, DJ Moore, half PPR. Who do you want to play? 2 guys.
I'm going to play James Conner and DJ Moore.
Never had it so good. Full PPR. That's what Erickson says every single morning when he comes here to do the live stream. Never had it so good. Let's do the live stream. Full PPR. Chandler, Singletary, or Zamir White?
Chandler.
Gen B, half PPR. Nico Collins or Jaden Reed?
Nico Collins.
MTS 9203. Love, Gino, or Carr?
Carr.
Christopher E, full PPR. Zamir White, Elliott, Eckler, Pacheco, KW3.
Zamir White.
Miss B Haven online. That's funny. Clever wordplay. I see you. Singletary or T. Higgins in the flex?
Singletary.
Master J3, Baker, Murray, or Carr, 4-point passing touchdown. I like he's called it throwing touchdown.
Baker.
What do you get for the throwing touchdowns? You gonna get a running touchdown? You gonna get who's a big boy gets a running touchdown? Who gets a running touchdown? Let's go to the also Rams or Raiders defense.
The Rams defense.
John K. Need 1 RB, 1 RB2, and a flex. Here we go. Zamir, Pacheco, Chandler, Chuba, and then Devontae Adams. This is for the ship.
So 3 players. So Zamir White, Chandler, and Adams.
There you go. Mindset Mastery. Hello from Germany. PPR. Cup or ATN?
ATN.
Opponent has Puka. Again, I don't care about your opponents. Doesn't matter. Just go out there and win. Charlie Garcia. Walker, Ridley, or Flowers in the flex?
Flowers.
Jacob R. Flowers or Rice in the flex?
Rice.
Scott Knight. PPR. HN or CEH?
CH.
I'm not even going to try this one. It's an N. It's an X. It's a CK. So is it Nixick? I don't know. Sit 1. AJ Brown, Justin Jefferson, Debo, or Puka? Yikes. What is this, a 4-team league? The hell's happening
I'm
here?
going to sit Puka.
This is like the perfect storm of you drafted AJ Brown, you traded for Justin Jefferson, you picked up Puka Nacua off waivers.
I mean, you could trade it for Debo too because he was hurt. So
yeah, but I mean, geez,
this isn't an impossible team to have. So yeah.
So wait, so who were you sitting?
Puka.
Okay. Leroy McGowan. Hello, fellas. I need your advice. I have Elliott, Pollard, Connor, Rice. I need 2 and 1 RB, 1 flex in the full PPR.
So Pollard and Rice.
Pollard and Rice. Michael Knight, Connor or Cup?
Cup.
Agreed. Mason Olay. Half PPR. Pick 1. Zamir White, Ty Chandler, CH, or James Conner?
Chandler for me.
Guido. Happy New Year. Thanks for this year. Championship week. San Fran D or Denver?
San Fran.
Agreed. Markin Souls. Colts or Texans? Defense.
Colts.
Sapo King. Diggs. Kittle or Laporta. Which do you sit? Kittle.
Yep.
Kittle, you just never know what you're going to get with him. Joseph Pocious. Non-PPR defense. Raiders, Bears, or Rams?
Bears.
Jimmy Wilkins. Full PPR. Saquon or Zamir for a 3-peat. Jimmy's going for the 3-peat.
Zamir.
Jimmy, I can't believe you're going to be very popular after that. They might ask you to move to a different league. You keep winning like this. Munch 818, Zamir, Zeke, or CEH?
Zamir.
Jimmy, you know what you need to do? You need to start playing things like Fantasy Pros Championship. If you're like dominating your leagues and you're winning every year, you need to go take your fantasy game and go play with some bigger competition. Like, it's one thing to win your home leagues. Go make an investment in one of these NFFC things, or one of these, Fantasy Pros Championship like we do. Like, go do that stuff. Challenge yourself a little bit. Munch 818, Zamir, Zeke, or CH? We did that one, but I wasn't listening.
Zamir.
Jimmy Wen, David Montgomery, or Derrick Henry in half PPR?
Monty,
Sabelo Mbethu, Puka, Mixon, Ty Chandler.
Puka.
All right. He says, the pronunciation is silent on the H. Okay. So, Mtembu. Sabelo Mtembu. Yes?
Yeah.
It's from way down in South Africa. Sabelo Mtembu. There you go. See, I just need a little help. I'm not very bright. I think we've all established this over the years. So a little bit of help goes a long way. Plus, I'm reading a lot of stuff. So thanks, Sabelo. Have a great new year or New Year's, depending on what you celebrate. J. Kuma TS, Flex Spot Standard, Mostert versus Ty Chandler versus Higgins. I need 1.
Mostert.
You can't sit a guy who's got 21 touchdowns. I don't want to bro anybody here in finals week. I haven't broed somebody hard in a long time. How come we don't have a bro shirt, by the way? Like, there should be a thing, I got broed by Joey P. Like, that's a merchandise. Why is that not in our Fantasy Pro shop? Erickson gets a t-shirt. Where's my t-shirt? Ridiculous. Stacy Lynn. Full PPR, pick 2. Montgomery, Barkley, Diggs. Who's in for Stacy?
Montgomery and Barkley.
Casey Klenda for the ship. Here we go. Half PPR. Zeke or Singletary, and Likely or Schultz. I'm definitely playing Likely. And Casey says, thanks, fellas.
And Zeke.
All right. Munch 818 PPR. Zamir, Zeke, CEH.
I feel like I've gotten this question like 100 times. Zamir.
This is it. Like, this is what we're down to. You know. By the way, did you see that Christian McCaffrey is rostered in over half of championship teams this year on ESPN?
Man, I'm not surprised.
58%.
I mean, it almost kind of like it's one of these things where you reflect on like basically it didn't really matter what you did with your fantasy team as long as you just drafted McCaffrey first. Like we put in so much work, and it's like if you just done that, then you would have made it this far probably. So it's like, well.
And watch, next year he'll be the consensus number 1, and next year he will get hurt again and underperform, and we'll all be miserable. That's football.
That's going to be the debate. I can tell you right now, because it's going to be, well, if he's healthy, he's unstoppable. It's like, yep, but what have we seen? He gets hurt. So it's like,
he didn't get hurt this year. I mean, to his credit, like
he hasn't gotten hurt as a 49er in the whole.
Well, he has missed a game here and there, I want to say, last year. Did he not miss a game last year?
Nope.
Okay. Let's go to Marinda Nicely. Ferguson or Goddard? Playing Ferguson here.
Ferguson.
Master J3, which kicker? Oh, this is all you, Erickson. Sanders, McLaughlin, or Fairbairn. There you go. Frank, you are quick on that. Frankie Quills, thanks for everything, fam. At Flex, should I go with Rushy Rice, James Cook, or Zeke?
Cook.
Lennon Perez, is it crazy to bench Pollard? Well, it depends on what you're benching him for, Leonard.
I don't want to bench a guy playing in a 53-point total game.
I don't either.
Starting running back.
Daniel Masucci, bench 1, PPR, Connor, White, Eckler, Chandler.
I will bench Connor.
Stacy got another question here. Full PPR, pick 2, Montgomery, Barkley, or Diggs?
Barkley and Montgomery.
Brian Mott, pick 3, Zamir White, Pollard, Rashad White, and Chandler. Well, Rashad White is definitely in.
I'm sitting Zamir White.
Okay. Johnny Sanchez, Laporta or McBride?
McBride.
Dave Malone, Kittle or McBride?
McBride.
Joe or McBride?
McBride. McBride with the sweep.
John K. Everyone hit that like. Ravens or Bills for the ship. Happy New Year's.
Bills.
Wicked Hebrew. Carr or Jordan Love at QB?
Carr.
Nason. Are you playing Zeke or Likely at full flex PPR?
Likely.
Jacob J. Rams or Vegas defense? Thanks a bunch.
Let's go Raiders.
Raiders. Okay, so let's continue to roll through some more news and notes as we're getting things here. Again, if you're just joining us, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Nico Collins was removed from the injury report. He will play. Debo was removed from the injury report. He will play. Again, Brock Purdy is in. Kyler's questionable with an illness. We expect him to play. Kenneth Walker is questionable, but right now it seems like things are trending in that right direction. They're not, however, trending in a good direction for Josh Jacobs. He is doubtful for this week. Juju Smith-Schuster will not play. I know that really upsets you. Also, Hunter Henry is questionable. All the Patriots. Can the Patriots lose these last 2 games here, Erickson, for us?
I hope
Can they do the right thing?
I hope so.
I hope so too.
Except they never lose against the Jets, so I don't know. It's gonna be a tough.
Well, that's the perfect way for Bill to go out, right? With a loss to the Jets.
Yeah, especially after
18.
the streak of him, like even like in the post Brady era, like he still owned the Jets. That's like the one team that hasn't, and that would be the final nail in the coffin if he ultimately falls to the hands.
Lose to the Jets.
Trevor Siemian.
Well, that's that full
at
poetic
home
round table circle thing, right? Where it's circle of life, where Robert Kraft stole him from the Jets. Well, the Jets made him head coach. 24 hours later, he signs his letter of resignation, faxes it, goes and becomes Patriots head coach, goes to 10 Super Bowls, whatever. And then, eventually things fall apart. Dynasty crumbles. Tom Brady leaves. He can't coach without Tom Brady or get personnel at least enough to make up for the loss. And then he loses to the Jets in his final game as a Patriots head coach. Symmetry. Kind of like that. All right, next one here. Jacob J. Rams or Vegas. Do we do that one? Let's do it
Yeah,
again.
I said Raiders.
Brandon Shearman, half PPR, pick 2. Nico Collins, Puka, or Zamir White?
Collins, Puka.
Collins, Puka. All right, going into this weekend too, I know we talked a lot on the betting show this week about some of the wagers and things that are going on, some of the things that we really like this week. I've been talking about taking the Rams with the points, taking Kyron Williams, pairing that together, getting yourself into plus money. For you, Erickson, what are the things that stuck out to you this week that you're wagering on to for those people who are not playing championships or still playing, but also want to make some money while they're watching some football this weekend?
I know I like the over tonight in tonight's game. I think that there's a lot of player props you can take advantage of. I know that the Jahmyr Gibbs rushing yardage prop was like comically low. It was like 50 yards, which is like ridiculously low. So I like that. I mean, nothing really jumped out to me from a spread and totals.
Well, you and Welsh were both on the under for Barkley this week, I know too.
Yep, we like the under on Barkley's rushing yardage. It's a really tough matchup for him against the Rams, who've been really good against running backs. And that's why like he's a tough start this week in fantasy too. Saquon Barkley. It's just because he's had like big weeks because he does get volume, but it's like it really depends. Like sometimes he gets the volume and hits, sometimes he gets the volume and doesn't hit. So he's been pretty boomer bust or hit or miss this year. I do like the over in the Giants and Rams game because I think that Tyrod Taylor can do. I like the over in both those games, even though I think that everyone kind of assumes like, oh, the Rams will just destroy the Giants, the 49ers will just destroy the Commanders, which I get to an extent, but like it's Tyrod Taylor and Jacoby Brissett are significant upgrades at quarterback where
I like the Commanders to cover.
It's better that way that the other team can actually do something offensively to help keep the pedal to the metal on the other side for those other teams to keep on scoring. So I think those are going to be both very fruitful game environments. Like I said, Patrick Mahomes, anytime touchdown. Like he is putting it on himself to score these touchdowns. He has not scored yet this year. He's never had a season where he hasn't scored a touchdown. It's like plus 400 for him to score a touchdown. All their running backs are hurt. What do you think he's going to do? He's going to run it. He's going to be like, I'm sick of this. I'm running it. I'm running it in myself. And the Bengals have faced the second most rushing attempts to quarterbacks this season. So, like, there's an avenue where Mahomes is like, you know what? Screw this. No one's running the right routes. Kadarius Toney doesn't know what he's doing. I'm taking it in myself. I'm going to score multiple touchdowns this week. Patrick Mahomes scores a rushing touchdown. Let's go.
I like it. I'm here for it. Again, go follow us over on Betting Pros. Go check out the Betting Pros channel too. We got great content. Welsh and Erickson and I just did a prop show yesterday, so you can go make some money off of your individuals, and you can continue to, enjoy the fantasy football season, the football season, even after it's all gone. And it's going to be going away after this week, but from the wagering standpoint into the playoffs, you can still enjoy yourself. So go subscribe to the Betting Pros channel. Go download the Betting Pros app. If you have iOS, you get 3 free days of premium. This is a perfect weekend to do it with all the bowl games, with all of the NFL games, the NHL, the NBA. You got the Classic out there too this weekend. I love the hockey outside. That's always a fun thing. Can't get enough of that. Also, it's fascinating to see all the quarterbacks that are going to be deciding fantasy championships. Jordan Love, Jake Browning, Tyrod Taylor, Jaron Hall, Jacoby Brissett, Easton Stick, Jarrett Stidham, Bryce Young, Aiden O'Connell, Taylor Heineke, Mason Rudolph, Will Levis, Bailey Zappi, Trevor Siemian, and CJ Beathard are going to be deciding the fates of your fantasy championships in one way or another, because either you have these quarterbacks or these quarterbacks are attached to your fantasy assets. It's a wild, wild 2023 finish. There's no doubt about that. Brandon Shireman, half PPR, pick 2, Nico Collins, Puka, or Zamir White?
Nico Collins and who's the other guy?
Puka and
Puka.
Zamir.
Yeah, I thought we did that one already.
I don't know. Hey, what do you want from me? Justin Guy, need 2. PPR, Eckler, Achan, CH, Chandler.
CH Chandler.
Okay, Haroon Quarbanzada. Would you go with Dicker, McLaughlin, Lutz, or better streaming option?
Fairbairn.
That's the only kicker you know, isn't it?
Yep.
If I start to say kicker, he goes, Fairbairn. He just shouts it out.
He's got the best matchup because the Titans have the number 1 red zone defense.
All right. El Delubrum. What? I don't even know what this is. El Blue Demon. Sorry. Too many letters there in a row. Pick 2. ATN, Gibbs, James Cook, Swift.
ETN Gibbs.
There you go. Trey, sit 1. Zamir White, Singletary, Chai Chandler.
Singletary.
Jay, Goff or Baker?
Goff.
Probably Goff. 4 a.m. Creations, full PPR. I have CMC and Gibbs. I need 2 for the flex. Nico, Bijan, Zamir, CEH, or Connor.
Nico and Bijan.
Agreed. No cap Sull, Rams, Raiders, or Ravens defense special teams.
Raiders.
Malty Bartles. Absolute desperation at quarterback. Here we go. Talked about it. Now we're in it. Hall, Taylor, Young. Please help. I can win my league, but all my QBs are hurt.
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young over Hall and Taylor?
Did you see him play last week? He's really good.
Just don't know if I trust.
He's playing the Jags. Their defense is horrible, just like the Packers.
I don't know, man. I would play
so
Tyrod.
you're gonna play a veteran Tyrod Taylor or another rookie that's not the first round pick.
I would play Tyrod. Like I'm confident that Tyrod can get me 15 points. I know Bryce Young put up 22 last week. I know the Jaguars is a good thing. He has had one double-digit game in his last 7 weeks.
How many does Tyrod Taylor have?
Tyrod Taylor wasn't playing, but Tyrod Taylor is a
How many backup. Does he have?
None, Erickson.
I stand corrected.
I don't think you do stand corrected. You stand it's not corrected at all. It's the opposite.
Next question.
Actually, no, I'm wrong. He had double digits last week against Philly in half a game. So you're wrong, my friend. And he put up 22 points against Washington. Yeah, 10 points. 10 fantasy
10
points.
Oh, what a barn burner
That's
performance by Tyrod.
Wait a minute. Here you go. Bryce Young, week 10, 9. Week 11, 6. Week 12, 8. Week 13, 8. Week 14, 7. Week 15, 8. And then 22 last week. Oh, great. I'm so excited. Tyrod Taylor, here you go. He came in mop-up duty he came in for an injury, and he put up 10 points in half a game against Buffalo. Then 22 points against Washington. Then against the Jets, I don't remember what happened there. I think he got hurt, right? That was the game he got hurt. And then you had to down. That's how Tommy DeVito came in, right? So we throw that one away. Then he came in last week against Philly, got 10 points. I'm starting Tyrod Taylor. Listen to me. Do not start Bryce Young. You can't do this. You cannot do it. Malty, at the end of the day, it's your decision. I am saying start Tyrod Taylor. He can get you 15 points. I'm not sure that Bryce Young can do that. Bryce Young scares the crap out of me. I'm not doing it. I refuse to do it. Bryce Young might have a good matchup, but I don't care. No to the Bryce Young. Plus, he's on the road, too. It's no good. All right, let's go to another question here. That was fun. I like when I get my dander up. Speaking of dander being up, too, the Welsh is going to be joining us soon to take you through the next hour along with Tara Roberts, so that's going to be a fun time here. Let's go through JC3PR, Flex Addison, or Pollard, half PPR. Help.
Pollard.
Okay. Juhi, which DST would you start? Ravens, Bears, Chiefs, Texans, Steelers.
Does this guy have the entire defense on his roster?
Much. Well, I assume these are all the ones out there, so he needs to stream somebody.
Bears.
All right, Ben, going for the ship. So we're going for the ship in this mediocrity at tight end. Pick 2. Pick 2. Juwan Johnson, Taysom Hill, or Kincaid. Man, why are we playing 2 tight ends? More to the point, what the hell is going on here?
Who?
People playing these 2 tight end leagues.
Taysom Hill and Kincaid.
Stop doing this to yourselves. Don't play in these leagues with 2 tight ends. You can barely get 1 tight end every week. You want to play 2? And tight end premium is another thing I think should die not a fast death, a quick death. A quick, painless death for 2 tight end leagues, for tight end premium leagues. Do you like the tight end premium leagues? I hate them.
I don't really care. Doesn't really matter to me.
You're so laissez-faire about everything. I wish I could be like you. This is why I have high blood pressure and you're calm. You're so just like, whatever, dude. Whatever, bro. You going surfing today, this afternoon after this?
I'm going to the gym, actually.
Me too. Gonna get swole. That's where we're going.
Gonna try.
Saturday swole. Me and Erickson. That's what we're gonna do. We continue to get everybody set up here for the transition here to hour 2. So make sure you stay with us here for all of your fantasy football needs. We're gonna answer your questions from 11 till noon as well. Let's continue on with another question. Bidwan Barahu, JT or Zamir?
JT.
Christy Shucker, Gibbs, Cook, or ATN?
Gibbs.
Yeah. Joe Fiore, defense, Chiefs or Bears?
Bears.
Bears. All right, there you go, everybody. Look, again, make sure you're going over to bettingpros.com to check out all of the incredible work we're doing over at Betting Pros. Download the Betting Pros app too. It's really significant. We've also got that prop bet cheat sheet on there too, so you can look and see the Fantasy Pros projections. And then you have a great situation here between the projections, and then the best place to bet all of those wagers. So basically, it's like handing you the questions and the answers to the test right in one spot. So you can go ahead, you can see the projections, you can see what the lines are set at, and then you can take the overs or the unders. So we are going to you want to give Andrew a break here, John? Put me with Welsh and then switch everybody over. I think that might be the best idea if we could do that potentially. Or I could talk about our sponsor, depending on how fast Andrew Erickson can be in his own house. So Andrew, you want to put the over under on your speed here that you can get through this transition and I can talk about Smash Up Sports one last time. So we want to try to do that.
I don't know what does John think we should be doing?
So let's do this. Let's talk Smash Up Sports and we will try to transition. Yeah, we'll have you come back and then we'll transition through there and I'll continue to vamp here. And I want to wish everybody a happy new year and happy new years too. So Erickson, are you ready to go off to the races? All right. And this is why we talked about it earlier. You have your coffee and then you go take care of your business before the show, like a true athlete, like a real professional does. Okay. This is what you do. Scott Hansen, by the way, would be very, very upset with you. Like he would
Okay,
be
he has an entire process that he's built out for optimal
just saying, just saying. 7 hours of commercial free football. It's 1 hour.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Well,
Disgrace.
I wasn't prepared for this. I didn't know I was going to be going longer. Didn't know.
Well, I know a lot of people. Here you go. Ready? 3, 2, 1. I know a lot of people are not prepared for the fantasy football season to be over, but if you are looking for a fun way to get in the game and still continue to keep your fantasy football dreams and hopes alive, Smash Up Fantasy Sports is the way to do it. So if you're like me and you don't want the season to ever end, but unfortunately it's going to, and you still want a little action in there, well, Smash Up Sports is the way to go. Smash Up Fantasy Sports is the fastest growing game out there. And in Smash Up, your fantasy team gets supercharged by Smash cards, which are like video game power-ups that you pick to boost your scores or your players, or even your entire team if you earn enough. Again, it's like one of those amazing video games / Pokemon kind of things. You play these cool cards. You think your kicker is going to have a big game, like Erickson loves Kami Fairbairn because he just likes spelling his name all the time. He writes it out, Erickson in hearts along with Fairbairn. It's like a little, schoolgirl in his notebook. You got the big kick energy. You power him up. Maybe you're starting, I don't know, Justin Fields. You play the scramble spikes to score more from his rushing totals. And you pair the cool visuals. Smash Up Sports is the biggest innovation in fantasy sports in a very long time. And fantasy sports has been around for a very long time. And it feels like it's really nicely designed. And it's designed for you, the sports fan. So the best part is you can play for free. What a beautiful world we live in. You can play for free and win fantastic prizes. No credit card needed. No hidden fees. All users receive 3 entries per week. 3. But if you're special and use that promo code FantasyPros, and I know that you are, and you will, you'll unlock a 4th entry every single week through the Super Bowl. So this is what you do. You sign up now to enter at smashupsports.com and join the future of fantasy. And if for some reason you couldn't make the stream today, you couldn't get your question answered, make sure you hook yourself up with MyPlaybook, the greatest tools suite in the history of the planet for fantasy sports. I know it's the last week of the season. I know it's Championship Sunday, but set your league up for success. Who knows what's going to happen tomorrow morning when you wake up? Madness happens. It's the NFL. Be prepared with MyPlaybook. Maybe you have plans tomorrow. You're seeing family again because you got too much family like me all over the place. You got 12,000 Christmases. MyPlaybook can help you do all of that. Can help you set your lineups, get the injured guys out, the healthy guys in, go with the best projections, auto set everything with autopilot again over at fantasypros.com/myplaybook. Or you could also just go ahead and use the app, which is what I would recommend, at Fantasy Football My Playbook app, which you can get anywhere you get your apps. And also don't forget about this amazing Trophy Smack belt that we've got going on for you too. So if you drop your comments below, that's all you need to do. Subscribe to the channel. That is part 2, and then you're good to go. So subscribe, drop your comments, ring the bell till it goes ding. This is the perfect way to put a capper on your fantasy football season with Trophy Smack. And if you don't win, go to Trophy Smack right now. Go buy a ring, buy a loser trophy. Those things are hilarious. Trophy Smack does some great work. They've supported our shows all year long. So if you don't win the belt, I'm sorry, but if you want to get something fun for your league, Trophy Smack is the place to do it. So, without further ado, it turns out Erickson is quick enough to get back, but it doesn't matter because we've got a fresh group coming here. They are ready to go. So, Erickson, what do you want to say to the people here before we head out for the day and pass things off? How do you feel about how the 2023 fantasy football season has gone for you?
I mean, I think it could have gone better. I mean, considering I have no teams left, so I'm not really feeling like this is championship week, at least personally, just because all my teams got knocked out a long time ago, which is unfortunate. But the fact that so many subscribers, so many of our people that follow us are talking about how excited they are, that inspires me. And it's like, great, great. Like at least someone was doing the right stuff, and apparently we were doing some right things because there are so many
We did a
people
lot of
playing in
right
their
things.
championships. So yeah, I know that I'm gonna take a long, hard look at in some of my retrospective articles and get an idea of like where my hits and misses were and where I can improve into next year. I think that's kind of the things I like the most is reflecting on the season, figuring out what I was right about, what I was wrong about, and what I can do to improve in 2024. It's a big year, 2024. It's going to be big.
Yes. So happy new year and happy new years as we played around with that all day. But have a great holiday, everybody. Stay safe. Go win that fantasy championship. Best of luck to you. We are going to change over right now. The Welsh and Tara Roberts will pick up the coverage right here on Fantasy Pros for the next hour. Drop your questions. We've got answers. And good luck, everybody. Bring home that fantasy championship. And don't forget, if you want a championship belt, this is the way to get it. Drop your comments below. Win the belt. Next thing you know, you're a fantasy champion from Trophy Smack. That's all you got to do. So Tara and Welsh, you guys are up. Take over from here.
What an absolute masterclass from Joe Pisapia that was in just holding down like there were no technical issues whatsoever. So hat tip to Joe for that. What's the word? I'm completely forgetting the word. Filibustering. He filibustered for at least 7 or 8 minutes. It's a great time. Hello, everybody. It's Welsh. It's Tara. We're here. We made it, and we are here for your championship week, answering your questions. So here's what we need. Your questions. Fill up the chat. Get it going so we can get to it. We got around 50 minutes to still keep rocking with that. John's going to be filling up our little scroll thing here with all your questions so we can get at it. Tara, how are you doing? A little bit of chaotic morning.
It's me, guys. I'm the technical issue. Yeah, hopefully everything goes smoothly, and my equipment is a little bit better. And we have wonderful questions. And I promise that because I was 10 minutes delayed, I will actually do the speed round with actual speed round and not delay and make Chris answer stuff first and give long explanations. So
Yeah,
I've got you. I'll speed it up.
It's all smooth. By the way, I feel you sound great, you look great. You've also got a great setup going where I feel like I'm in trouble. Like you look very corporate right now. This is corporate Tara. Like I feel like we're in for an interview. Like I'm like, okay, how did our performance review go? And I like it though. It's a very good look. And hopefully you guys are rocking in this championship. So we'll get jamming with all of it. We'll tell you about all the great sponsor things. But again, just hat tip to Joe. That was a masterclass, John. I mean, I don't know. I'm in awe sometimes of just his ability to literally never be able to shut up. Like he can just go and go. Like I can do that sometimes, but it's special. Also, if I sound a little under the weather, it's because I am. So this time of the year, I went an entire year without feeling sick or getting sick, and now it's starting to jump on me. But oh well. Let's jump to it. You guys can also find us on Twitter at It's Tara Time and at Is It The Welsh. Be glad to answer all your questions. Let's get to it, Tara. Brian Henry in here, non-PPR. We're picking 3. Cup, Puka, Diggs, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Literally all the good players. And Diggs.
This is a weird situation where I think that I would actually go with both Cup and Puka and Amon-Ra St. Brown. We've been struggling to see production out of Stephon Diggs. And usually we say when you got that many studs, just diversify and don't tie yourself in. But I just don't know if we can trust Stephon Diggs right now. Just go ahead and go with your multiple studs there with the Rams.
I don't know how you can. Over the last 3 weeks, Diggs is average. I think he's combined 17 and a half points. It's under 18 points. And we actually talked about this on the game match preview show that I did this week, where, you're looking like Gabe Davis scored 21 points last week. He's outscored Diggs in one game over his 3. And I don't find the trust in Diggs right now. I think we were split in our camp of that show between Pat and Derek Brown. Also, Diggs is a part of the what is it? The the Fantasy Pros over under challenge, brought to you by Betting Pros, that you guys can go and check out. What is it? fantasypros.com/challenge. Does that sound right, John? Okay. I remember. I recut a line. So that one is on there this week. And it's like, I think it's 12 fantasy points picking over under, and our crew was split. We couldn't go over. So you guys can go and play that challenge. But I'd also say a lot of us are split. I'd rather go Cup. I'd rather go Puka. Great matchups for both of those guys, even though they both don't equally tend to go off, at least as of recent. And Amon-Ra St. Brown's an easy play. So is as big as the names are, it's a pretty easy sit Diggs, Tara.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy that we've gotten to that point, but Buffalo's a different team. And I'm not going to, criticize them for it. It's working for them from a actual real football perspective, but from a fantasy football perspective, it's not working for us. We can't rely on Stephon Diggs.
All right. God, when I was listening to Joe, I don't know if everybody was here. Everyone's probably held over, but anybody that's just been here, when Joe was rattling off all the quarterbacks that are going this week, at first I was just like, all right, Joe, like you can just give us a couple and hit the point home. But then when he rattled them all off, I was like, good God, is like half of the league.
Yeah.
I've mentioned this a million times. I'm starting Jake Browning. I have Jake Browning right now in my championship, in my 16-team dynasty. That's how things are right now. I know a lot of you were wishing you started Joe Flacco, which is gross. All right, Larry says, need help, pick one running back. Aaron Jones, Ty Chandler, Zamir White, or James Conner.
This is a tough one. Because theoretically, the best option in there is Aaron Jones coming off of that big game, although we have to consider that was against a extremely good matchup. In this one, it's not ideal. It's not ideal. Between Aaron Jones and Ty Chandler, Zamir White, James Conner in a bad matchup as well, I still lean towards going with Aaron Jones. I think there's going to be some receiving upside there. We've got Christian Watson more than likely out. Dontavian Wicks questionable, so we're not entirely sure if he is going to be able to suit up. I still lean towards Aaron Jones. I do like this matchup here.
I'm going to roll with you with Aaron Jones, but I can tell you Zamir White isn't properly set just because Josh Jacobs. I think we just recently got the information that he is now doubtful, but there's not an official out. But everybody, I think, is a little bit burned. If anybody is in a championship with Josh Jacobs, it's really not. It's more about Zamir White. People might be owning Zamir White. And in that matchup preview show, again, if you guys want to go back and listen, since we've only got one game today here on Saturday, all the rest are coming up here on Sunday. Maybe you've just got a little bit more football, digesting you need to do. You can go and check out. We previewed every single match, D-Bro, Pat, and I, that Zamir's rank without Josh Jacobs will be, I think, ahead of both of these guys for both of them. Pat was a little bit indifferent. He's a Packer fan, but I could tell from D-Bro that Zamir White, we were talking I think 14 Zamir White was going to rank. So it might be closer in some places. I'm still going to go Aaron Jones regardless, even if it is no Josh Jacobs and just Zamir White. So that's me.
It's close.
Jacob R says, we're going to pick a defense here. Chargers, Cowboys, Raiders, or Jags.
Oh, I'm so torn on this one. I think the Raiders is the way that I lean on this one. They're hot. I know it's not an ideal, situation in terms of the best matchup in the world, but got to roll with the hot hand in terms of the teams that is getting the turnovers, scoring the points.
Man, can you read me off the teams real quick? I'm looking at a different sheet.
Chargers, Cowboys, Raiders, and Jags.
Okay, so because what I want to give everybody, Jags are the highest ranked on Fantasy Pros consensus ranks. They are 9 versus Carolina here. Next up, looks like it is the Cowboys. Then what were our teams again? I'm already forgetting.
Chargers and Raiders.
Then Raiders, then Chargers. So you have a span of the 21st ranked defense to the 9th ranked defense. I probably also pick on Carolina in this spot, but I don't know. I guess I'm a little bit indifferent about them. I could go Vegas. I don't think I'd actually go with who is it? The Cowboys. I don't want to play Detroit. That's going to be a high flying game. So I would go with either the Jaguars or the other team, the Raiders.
Yeah. think the Cowboys are a little overranked there, but that happens a lot with the Cowboys because people want to be optimistic because they're have traditionally been a high turnover team, so they're always going to be ranked a little higher, but it just hasn't been clicking.
Yeah.
Just hasn't
I
been
mean,
clicking.
I will tell you, like 9 out of 10 times it works to just play like the great matchup that's out there. But sometimes those gross on paper matchups for good defenses work out. And I would just hold again. The reason I'm in my championship in my current league was I was forced to play Baltimore against the 49ers. And then they scored 25 points in my league setup. And that literally pushed me over. I won by 3 points. So, sometimes a really good defense you can play in those turnover situations. There's also a question about what Goff are we going to get? If we get the bad Goff, Dallas defense actually might look pretty good. I'm just not touching it because of the points. No thanks. Crystal Rodriguez need an RB2 and a full flex PPR. King Henry, we're back to Zamir, Godwin, or D-Hop.
Honestly, this one's kind of easy. Derrick Henry and Zamir.
RB2 flex. Full PPR, yes. It is definitely Henry. I was battling a little bit between Godwin and Zamir, but yeah, without Jacobs, I would also go Zamir. You're getting two top probably 15 running backs, which I would take over the two wide receivers, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Floor is kind of low for both of them, and upside kind of limited.
Yeah, I guess that would be the play. Joe told you about this a little bit, but I want to tell you about it, especially for all of our new crew. Are you one of many sports fans who are not ready for the fantasy season to end? I'm waiting to hear. Yes, of course you are. Nobody wants the fantasy season to end. Then you have got to play Smash Up Fantasy Sports, the fastest growing game out there. In Smash Up, your fantasy team gets supercharged by Smash cards, which are like video game power-ups that you can pick to boost the scores of your players or even your entire team. I'd also say not even just video games, but those actual card games where you boost it up. Everybody loves that. Think your kicker's going to have like a big game, then you can choose the big kick energy to power them up. Are you starting Justin Fields? Then play Scramble Spikes to score more from his running. This is paired with cool visuals, and Smash Up is the biggest innovation in fantasy sports in a very long time, and it really feels like it was designed for sports fans. And here's the best part. You can play for free and win fantastic prizes. You could do it right now. There's no credit card needed, no hidden fees. All users receive 3 entries per week, but if you use our code FantasyPros, you'll unlock a 4th entry every week through the Super Bowl. So enter now at smashsports.com and join the future of fantasy. It's very, very cool. Go and check that out today. All right, let's go to Cody. All right, we officially have our everybody asking questions live stream starters starting to get set, Tara. So if everyone knows what I'm talking about, we get a million questions about a player. Those players insert into our all talked about lineup. Zamir White is officially entering the lineup because every single question has centered around him. Carlos wants us to pick one. CEH, Zamir White, Calvin Ridley, or T. Higgins, full PPR. Zamir White has entered our roster, but will he enter Carlos's?
Yes. Yeah. It looks like we still have to wait for Isaiah Pacheco to clear concussion protocol, but it does look like he's leaning that direction. Then on top of that, we've got Calvin Ridley dealing with the Trevor Lawrence issue, terrible matchup. T. Higgins might have Jamar Chase back. If Jamar Chase doesn't suit up, I would go T. Higgins on this one. But otherwise, yeah, I can go Zamir White on this one.
There's a part of me that wants to go T. Higgins in general, just because front coverage can go main coverage, like Snead's coverage can lock in on Jamar if he's active, and then T. Higgins kind of opens up here. But I think this is Zamir. I also have an affinity for CEH if Pacheco wasn't to play, but I think he's going to. So I would go with Zamir, I suppose, in this case. Ridley, I'm just not interested in. Higgins is probably the closest. Here's another one. Guess what? Zamir's in it. Sit 1, Zamir White, Pollard, Chandler, Mostert.
Tony Pollard. I know. It's like I just oh man, Tony Pollard. It's just, poor Tony Pollard. I mean, the matchups have been terrible. And he's a great running back, but he's just not that running back that can overcome those terrible matchups. I've got so many concerns around Pollard in this matchup. He would have to have receptions to get there. I just can't trust it.
Yeah, I can't do it. And I know you got to make the decision today. I'm done with Pollard. Here's the only thing you don't like about this is you don't have like official news on Jacobs, because then if you sit Zamir White or you sit Pollard for Zamir White and then Jacobs somehow miraculously plays, that kind of ruins him. So I could see you making that decision, but nobody is in on Pollard. Like there's a likelihood that Pollard could end up going off and it'll be on every championship's bench. Like no one's going to want to start him. But in a vacuum, I would also go Zamir White here. Another defensive question. Trey's got Bears or Jags defense. So we already mentioned that the Jags are 9th this week. The Bears on Fantasy Pros consensus ranks is 5th. So Tara, what side are you?
Yeah, it's the Bears for me. It's the safer option. I don't mind leaning into the Jags defense against Carolina, but we do have to recall that they have been legitimately terrible. So that's the Bears defense.
You missed your opportunity. You're supposed to go, da Bears. It's da Bears. So, I don't know.
I'm a Packers fan. I can't
You can't do that. Okay. I actually had a discussion with this. It might have been with Joe or Debra. So we just had this discussion where someone we knew was too young for the da Bears. They didn't know that. And I don't know if that is of your era that can you lock into good old Chris Farley and all the having another heart attack? No?
Yes, I'm not too young. I would like to think I appear that way, but
you look very young, but also the look you just gave me was the most appeasing look. I'm married, Tara, so I know that look. You were like, yeah, sure, I've heard of that. So thank you for the appeasing look. Thank you so much. But oh god, I hit myself. Now I know Chris Farley. No wonder. Yeah, I just like really hit myself there. I shouldn't do that. I'm gonna have one. All right. Rahman. Flex, Hopkins, Noah Brown, or Zamir White. Sorry, the names messed me up.
Oh man, you start to get concerned when you start saying Zamir White like 20 times.
This is wild. This is wild.
It is. It's Zamir White. I was like, oh gosh, now I'm gonna be nervous all day tomorrow, just waiting, saying like, okay, let's play.
We are setting ourselves up, folks. We are setting ourselves up bad. If you were to pivot and have to, I very much like Noah Brown. And I don't know. I mean, going Noah Brown over Hopkins, probably not the play, but I don't know. Think about Stingley locking up on Hopkins. I feel like Noah is going to get to jump back into that tank role like I've talked about. There's a part of me that thinks Noah can outplay Hopkins this week, but you've got good pivots if Zamir doesn't, if Josh Jacobs starts or something. That's a good one. All right. Chella Bodie says Seattle or Houston defense. A lot of defense. I guess there should be a lot of defensive questions. That's important this week.
That's critical. I lean towards the Houston defense. Will Levis good for some turnovers.
Yes, I will agree with that one because Pittsburgh. Yeah. I'll agree with that one. I had to sit on that one a little bit. Like, not that I think Pittsburgh is going to be good against Seattle, but Tennessee, I'm a little bit less interested in. Chris says flex in the full PPR. Oh, it's a not Zamir question. I feel so good. Flex in the PPR. Osborne. We got Gus Bus, Greg Dortch, or DJ Chark. Do.
Full PPR, and I know this is mildly terrifying because if this was Nick Mullins or Josh Dobbs, like it would feel so easy, so good. Like heading into the week, I was like, oh yeah, I love KJ Osborne this week, and we've got so many questions around who Jaren Hall will even be. We don't have any idea, but it is the Packers defense, and if Jordan Addison is out, that would be massive. Even if he's not out, we're still looking at Osborne is a very high upside play. In full PPR, I lean towards KJ Osborne.
I'm good with it in full PPR. I kind of want to throw Gus Bus out there for touchdown plays, but you guys know I don't like to be heavy dependent on those. You know what? Nah, I'm going to go Gus Bus. I'm going to switch it just with Addison and Jefferson. And I don't know. I have no idea. What Hall's going to look like and what safety nets he's going to need. Is it going to be a bunch of Josh Oliver all of a sudden? Is it going to be check downs to the right? I just don't know. So, I mean, to that credit, KJ Osborne is kind of that safety net, which might make him great, but I'm going to lean Gus Bus on this one.
Let me ask you a question, Chris.
Okay.
So in one league where made it to the championship despite the fact that I continued to start Tony Pollard. I know it was ill-advised. I didn't have any other options. I had to do it. And he miraculously overcame it. And I went to waivers and I grabbed KJ Osborne. I can move. I have the flexibility to move Pollard into flex and potentially decide between him and KJ Osborne. What would you do?
Oh man, I would go Pollard. That's rough. And this full PPR, you said?
Yeah, full PPR.
I mean, isn't I haven't seen the injury report for today, but isn't Rico questionable to go today too?
He's either doubtful or completely out. It's one of the two.
Yeah.
I think he might have actually been fully rolled out.
It makes a little bit, but I'll go Pollard. Yeah, I would go Pollard and just. I mean,
I'm gonna agonize over this one.
Yeah, you're gonna if you do go Pollard and he stinks, you're just gonna have a whole nother day to just kind of regret it, and you're just gonna have that whole time to think about what KJ Osborne could do. But yeah, I go with Pollard. There's still touchdown opportunities. Rico is not going to be there to take away if they do move into the red zone. Yeah, I would go with Pollard in that instance. So, all right, Justin Snodgrass, what a name. Jaden Reed, good name. Jaden. Oh, I'm sorry. Chris also had Everett or Waller. I didn't see the title question.
Like Everett this week.
Yeah, sure. I did never pick Waller. Justin said Jaden Reed or Noah Brown.
Jaden Reed was cleared. We're going Jaden Reed.
Jaden Reed, absolutely. Zeke or Chandler from Justin also.
This is rough. I will go Chandler. The volume leans towards Zeke clearly, but I just cannot deny. I'm a Packers fan, but I know my team. I know my defense. You pick on whatever running back is playing against them. It doesn't matter. So, Ty Chandler.
I want to say Elliott so bad. I do, but yeah, Packers defense stinks. So you got to go Ty Chandler in there. Where's Madison at? I don't even think I paid attention to Madison's situation.
Yeah, he'll be. Was he? I don't know. He might be still questionable.
Now I have
or
to look.
cleared. I'm not 100% sure.
I mean, I do think that's relatively important. Yeah, he played last week. I completely forgot.
It did make a difference.
Like, oh yeah, he's active, but he's not doing anything. Yeah, I guess.
But he was on the injury report this week, so you're right on that one. He was still there.
That's what I thought. Okay. All right, John Smith, full PPR flex, Stephon Diggs or Zamir White. Come on.
Oh my God. I mean, I'm like, honestly, really and truly, if Jacobs is out, I can go Zamir White. I know that's wild. I know it is.
I'm just gonna say it right now. This Diggs stuff too, and Zamir White. This could be one of those defining week 7. This might be the thing that we've referenced next year, where we're like, oh, we analyze, and then we don't start our studs and blah blah blah. Diggs has just been so bad. It's so bad he can't get going. Sure, it could just happen this week, and sure, he's the big name. You could put him out there, but the logic of why you would put Zamir White in if Jacobs is out over Diggs is, I think, foolproof. But the execution could blow up in everybody's face. But I don't know, man. Like it'll stink if you sit Diggs and then he goes off. But at the same time, if you have this gut feeling that you should put a guy like Zamir White in because Diggs has been so bad, you don't do it and you lose. That also, it's going to sting, I think, equally.
No, I will say, we have already seen this matchup, and Diggs had a fine game. So I will say now things are different now. The offense is operating different. But that said, he did have a fine game in the previous matchup, and they are dealing with some injuries in their secondary for New England. So it's closer.
Last game they played, he had 12 targets, 6 receptions, 58 yards. He did have a touchdown, but I mean, since week 9, he's had double-digit targets twice, but he hasn't had a touchdown he's had 2 touchdowns since week 9. I don't know. Matchup could work. It's a tough defense in New England. If there's no Josh Jacobs, I think I am still leaning Zamir White, and I'm sorry, or you're welcome. Either one. So that's that meme. It's like, I don't have time to read all this. I'm congratulations or I'm sorry, whatever it is. It's going to be one of those. All right. Rissa 1382 says full PPR pick 1, Brandon Cooks, Noah Brown, or Demarcus Robinson.
Noah Brown. Although I do still like Demarcus Robinson this week, but no Brown.
Samesies, you and me, Noah Brown. Raiders or Bears defense?
Bears is the safer option. High upside swing. If you're looking for like your massive underdog, play the Raiders.
Yeah, and I think there's like a 10-spot differential we talked about from a little bit earlier. That one's already in there. DJ Quill, full PPR, David Montgomery or James Conner?
David Montgomery.
Yeah, I'm not into. I had a big old thing about James Conner this week. I'm just not into any Cardinals. I'm not into James Conner. Eagles defense not as good as it seems, but I ain't into him. I'm fine with David Montgomery. He can kind of get going, but I feel that I have that league I'm in. I have James Conner, but I'm sitting him on the bench, and I have Eckler, ETN, and Mostert all going. That's the play, right?
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not playing all that other nonsense out there. If you have battled, and I'm just talking about championships here, you have battled your way this far. You deserve a prize fit for a champion. I should hit them up for my league. We don't have one of these, and we should. So why not enter? And maybe I will, even though I probably don't count. You should enter Trophy Smack's Ultimate Fantasy Football Championship Belt Giveaway. To qualify, simply subscribe right here to FantasyPros YouTube channel. Comment on the video this week. Boom. This custom championship belt isn't just a reward, it's a testament to your strategic prowess and season-long dedication. So make your victory unforgettable with Trophy Smack's ultimate symbol of fantasy football supremacy. And while you're at it, turn on notifications so you can be alerted when our new episodes are up. And to claim your prize, make it an ultimate championship customized belt from Trophy Smack. Like I said, I probably need to do that. I'll be one of those guys in the league. I'm like, hey guys, we should do a championship. I'm in the finals. You know, I'm projected to win. I'm like, we should really do that. We should all jump in there. All right.
Yeah.
Are you a big like trophy? Do you do trophies in leagues? I feel like people are kind of torn between that. And I feel like the people that don't do them have never done them before.
I do in Dynasty. But in redraft, I have not. But that's because a lot of the redraft leagues are different kind of leagues, you know, not like your home leagues where you got the trophy and you're passing it around to locations and stuff like that. So yeah, in Dynasty, yes.
Okay.
Love good trophy.
Just curious. Steve, PPR flex, Zamir White, Calvin Ridley, of course.
Zamir White. Oh, Calvin Ridley. Poor Calvin Ridley.
Yep.
This might be one of those 3-5 point games.
Yep. Yeah. It'll be a 2-point game or it'll be a 30-point game. So no in between. Yeah. All right. Taha says flex Kamara or Olave. It's half PPR and half for first downs.
Yeah, that does make it interesting for Kamara. But I'm still heading Olave on this one.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, pretty much every. I'm like really thinking about this one. It's the first down. The first down thing is really odd. I could definitely see you. You could almost like get tripped up on something like that, like being really hyper focused on it. But I will say, a guy like Olave, most catches are probably going to equate to first downs. Where obviously Kamara has a better opportunity to lock up more first downs, but I just think the share for Olave makes more sense. So I'm going to go with him. And you know, maybe you get like 1.5 more to Kamara for first downs over Olave, but I'm not sure that's going to matter at the overall production. So that's something I've tried to get better about the last like 3 or 4 years in fantasy. Whenever there's like a cork, try not to fall too far into the cork, because I feel like you can get lost in like, oh my gosh, it does this. Like, I know it benefits it, but you know, like in the Scott Fish Bowls, like they have the 1.5 reception for tight ends. And sometimes I think people get a little too far on that and you get a little bit too hyper focused and it makes you lose like the team construction just because of this one little oddity.
Yeah. I mean, it matters in terms of, you know, how you're drafting, but in terms of how you're starting and stuff like that, I mean, your studs are still your studs.
Yeah, that's very true. Steve says, pick 2 RBs from Etienne, Bijan, Ty Chandler, and Saquon Barkley. And you're welcome, Steve.
Well, this is interesting. Etienne is in a huge spot here. I anticipate a ton of volume on the ground, excellent matchup. So Etienne for sure. And then the other three, it's really difficult because we've got Ty Chandler in the good matchup, in the other two, not so much, but not massive. We got to run away and pivot kind of situations. I would probably lean towards going with Travis Etienne. And then I think I would go with Saquon over Bijan.
Ooh, I am anti Saquon. Erickson and I are both
Yeah.
anti Saquon. We went under. Now I will say this: we went under rushing yards prop this week. We both had it in the same show, but I also think on the inverse, Saquon is going to make more of an impact in the receiving game, so that could
Yeah.
make him really fantasy relevant. Bijan is tough because Arthur Smith hates us, and we don't know what side that's ever going to really take. I'm going a little chalky here, I think. I'm going Etienne and Bijan. Those are the two high ranked. I'll pull this up here. I believe they are 4 and 8. Yeah, Etienne is 4, and no, Bijan dropped down to 11, and Saquon is over him. So Saquon is above him. I lean Etienne and Bijan, though. You are more apropos to what the consensus rankers are on Saquon. I'm just a little bit worried about Saquon. That rush
Yeah, I get
defense
it though.
on the Rams is tough, Tara.
Yeah, I don't disagree at all. It's a bad matchup for sure. But when I'm looking at that between Bijan and Ty Chandler, I can find the reasonings to why they can fail as well.
It's very true. Yeah, it's actually pretty easy to look at all of these guys and find the different reasons why they're going to disappoint. And they're all kind of close, even though maybe the ranks are a little bit more sporadic. 3 of the 4 are inside the top 12 this week. So,
Yeah.
You're fishing from a pretty good pond there, Steve. Joshua says, quarterback dilemma, Dak or Josh Allen? Got to make that decision today.
I mean, we could be due for a Dak bounce back week for sure. But I still lean towards going with Josh Allen.
I'm going to go with Dak. I think the Lions defense is penetrable. I think they're going to flang the ball. They got some running back injuries, and I think the pace on this game might be high scoring where I'm taking the dumb Patriots on the line this week. I'm taking the points just because we can absolutely see Josh Allen play down to it. I don't trust Diggs. So if I don't trust Diggs,
Yeah.
then I don't know if I should trust Allen. Dak is 2 in the consensus ranks. Josh Allen is 3. So they're both right there. Pretty close decisions. Alex, no Ander, says pick one of Minshew, Easton, or Stidham.
I mean, your safe option is Minshew. There's no upside there, though. That's the problem. There is no upside there. I would be willing to risk it with Stidham.
Really?
I know that feels, yeah. If you need a potentially higher upside swing, given the matchup, and that is the key there. Given the matchup, I can go that direction. Minshew, I feel, is just going to be like if you want 15 fantasy points, if you're the favorite, you just need a safe option, you can't take that risk, then yeah, go with Minshew. But I just don't feel like he's a high upside play at all this week.
What do you think is going to be more prolific when we look back on this year? Is it going to be the garbage and name quarterbacks we started in week 17, or the underperformers that shoved it in our faces, like the Diggs, the Pollards, the guys we gave up on that are just going to fly back up? What do you think we're going to look back on more fondly or upsetly or whatever?
I think it'll be the quarterbacks thing because we talk about way that drafts adjust as the season goes on, or as we approach new seasons, and we're looking at back and reviewing the year before, and quarterbacks got pushed up so much this year, and it was not a good result for a lot of people. Unfortunately, you could have gone with so many different options from 9 through even 15 that got you there. So yeah, I think it's going to be looking back and realizing we had to start all these garbage quarterbacks, and we were drafting these guys in the third, fourth, fifth rounds. Sometimes people, the ones that paid up for Patrick Mahomes. Like, it's just was painful this year, unfortunately.
I want to see, Yahoo did a list earlier this week that it was like the top 10 players that were on Yahoo's championship teams that made it to the championship. Christian McCaffrey, number one, no surprise. I want to see the top 10 quarterbacks started in Yahoo leagues or any platform to do that, because that'll be great. It'll be like, Patrick Mahomes, Dak Prescott, and then it'll be like Jake Browning, Jared Stitt. It's going to just be Joe Flacco. I will bet you Joe Flacco is like top 5 in quarterback started in championship leagues on a platform. Bet.
I hope so. I was heavy on telling people like start Joe Flacco like this week. I'm starting Jordan Love this week, so that's one of my championship quarterbacks, Jordan Love. Let's go.
Like a streamer. Bet on God. Do it. All right. Denise says Pollard or Zamir White. Didn't we do this one? Or did we do a version of this?
We've probably a version of it. Yeah. We are Zamir.
we are Zamir, but boy, it's like a Venom. I can't. You know what? I don't feel good. I do a killer Venom. We are Zamir, like that. That's pretty good. I'm a little bit, but I can do. I'm gonna impress everybody some other time, but I'm not feeling as good. But yeah, we are Zamir. But I don't know. Like the Pollard thing is still sticking out to me. All right, we had that one. Stacy says full PPR pick 2: Montgomery, Barkley, CEH, or Diggs.
Ooh. This is this is like a headache. I mean, if Pacheco didn't play, it would be CEH that I would go with, and then probably
Easy.
Then I still think I would probably go with the upside of Barkley over Montgomery as a safer option, but I just think Pacheco is going to play, so more than likely I'm probably leaning towards going with Barkley and Montgomery.
Agreed.
I know that feels weird.
Yep. Now I'm going to do the same thing, even though like I'm anti Barkley on the rushing yards. Like I said, with the receiving, I would take Barkley and Montgomery here. Daniel says pick 2. We've got James Cook, JT, Zamir, Mixon, and Monty again. I think Monty has to add to our all ass team. Our all ass team is Zamir with Montgomery, and then our wide receiver. I think we only have one wide receiver. You tell me if it's different. We have Diggs. I don't know if we've had another. Noah Brown might be in that mix. And then who's our starting quarterback for the all question team?
Have we really?
We really haven't had a lot of quarterback ones. All right, so we're quarterbackless right now. So it's an anti-super flex. All right, but we got to pick 2. Cook, JT, Zamir, Mixon, Monty.
JT. I know it's not. People may not be into the matchup, but at the same time, is still a top volume play type of running back. We got no Zach Moss as well, so we're looking for volume here from JT. And then I would go Cook.
I'll go Cook and JT. I'll join you here. JM Design says any updates on DK? There actually is. The update was he hadn't practiced yesterday, but Pete Carroll said today that he expects DK to play. So that was the most recent update out there. So DK is expected to play according to Pete Carroll, who is a notorious liar. So just know that. But I'd say that's like a pretty good thing. Here's a quarterback question. We did get one. Greg says Tua or Lamar?
Oh, Lamar.
Easy Lamar. Yeah, easy Lamar. Though I'm not on the Tua hate bandwagon like everybody else. I don't know if you are.
I am. Oh,
you are? Hate?
There. It's been it's been an ongoing like month and a half type of thing. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, it's it's type of the season. Lift that hate. Tua's not that bad. Are you okay? So wait, we had this was a question I asked earlier the week. Baker or Tua?
Baker. And it's not a like real football. I'm fully on board with Tua. Love you and like a full like actual football to the playoffs and whatnot. Super Bowl, like love you, Tua. But from a fantasy football perspective, if you throw one touchdown, it's a bad day. If that's it.
And you're not alone. The rankers have, and this is why I had asked that question. The rankers have Baker at 11 and Tua's at 14 in the consensus ranks. But I just also am like, can you imagine like? Put yourself in the shoes. Like it's a Freaky Friday. You're the person who is dragging Tua out of their starting lineup and inserting Baker Mayfield. Like I can't even that's gross. I don't like it.
I've been recommending it for a while now.
Yeah. Baker's been good. Baker's been good. All right. Matthew is essentially asking Stafford or Stroud. He's got some other stuff in here. I think he's got a little bit of worry of like first came back with Stroud, but what say you, Stafford or Stroud?
I'm completely comfortable with Stroud, and I feel like people are kind of underestimating him this week. Oddly enough, I get it, multi-week absence, but it was a concussion. He's cleared, he's good to go, and this is a wonderful matchup. It's a wonderful matchup.
It's a wonderful world and a wonderful matchup. I agree. If you guys are having any issues on who you need to start, you're confused on where you need to start, worried you'll make the wrong choice, well, let us do the work for you and take the stress out of lineup management with MyPlaybook's Autopilot tool. Autopilot makes it easy to manage your fantasy team's lineup, get suggested lineup changes via email, have us auto-swap inactive players out, and you can, of course, use the full Autopilot that'll just get optimized lineups each week. Even if it's not about confusion, I would just point out what is so great about those tools is it just puts your team in the best position. Injuries out, inactive players away, optimal lineup set, and then you can go and do the work if you want. You can use Autopilot at fantasypros.com/myplaybook or the Fantasy Football MyPlaybook app. Go and do it today. Get Autopilot for now and the future. Maybe also you're going to be doing some playoff leagues. I know a lot of people like to do that. No cap soul. Actually, I'm sorry, Jeffrey. Puka or Evans half PPR?
Oh, Evans.
Ooh, you know what? Evans also, because of my whole idea, it was crazy. Over the last month, Puka and Cup have not both gone off in a single game. It is just one. I know I've said this in a couple different spots. 9-point differential between the wide receivers every single week for the last month. There's a 9-point stretch. So, Puka scores 21 points. Cup is down there, whatever the math is, 12 points. You've also, over the last 3 weeks, you've had a 13 or higher point differential between them. So they just don't eat together. I really like Cup, though I will say Cup has the number 1 PFF cornerback wide receiver matchup this week. So, or Puka does. So, that goes in line for there, but I'm a Cooper Cup guy this week, but I will go with Mike Evans on the half PPR. No Cap says I need 2 in Superflex. Jordan Love, Tyrod Taylor, Stidham, Jaron Hall.
Jordan Love's my easy one.
Yep.
I have problems with Tyrod Taylor, so we can't go Tyrod. It
Agreed.
is between Stidham and Jaron Hall, and this is tough. I feel like I trust Stidham. They both have good matchups. I feel like I trust Stidham more. I just wish Jaron Hall is such a question mark. It really could be a solid 20-point fantasy game. It really could, but just go with Stidham.
I lean Jaron Hall, but I think there's more worries about him than Stidham. Like, I just don't like, it's a good matchup for Stidham, but just the weapons, Sutton's kind of There's just a lot of things. Jaron Hall's got the safety net of Addison and Jefferson, and Ty Chandler's been making plays. I don't feel great about it, but Love is the constant. I would go with Jaron Hall for sure. Another quarterback question. Cleveland Penn says Browning or Tua for championship. Don't do it, Tara.
Browning.
I'm doing it.
I do not see Tua getting more than 14 fantasy points in this matchup. I don't see it. I can't see it. We just watched this team obliterate MVP favorite Brock Purdy. I can't get there. I can't do it.
God, I love you. That is the best. That is the best. I love that one. I mean, I am so firm into Tua. If I had Tua to go against my Browning, I would. That is the terrible. I'm 100% locked into that Miami game to watch that. Your logic is there. So we'll say that. I'm not hating on the pick, but like, I think we're too far gone against the matchup, because I feel like I think you're actually kind of picking on Tua a little bit more, where I think a lot of people are picking on the matchup, and I just don't think the matchup actually matters quite as much. I do know that Waddle's out, Achane is good to go. I think both running backs are good to go, and that obviously could equate to just them running the ball a whole bunch more. But both of those guys get involved in the receiving side. I think Tua has 2+ touchdowns in this game, but I love that you picked it. That is staying locked in. All right, we've got to go speed round here. So let's lock in speed round. Let's give a shout out to Connor. Connor did say morning to both of us. Morning, Connor. Connor has Pacheco. If he's out, Zamir, Elliott, or CEH. I think we both said Zamir at this point, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
It's close, man, but yeah, Zamir.
Yeah. But the interesting note is he says if Pacheco is out, that also up in CEH. Does that
It
change
does.
anything?
I still lean Zamir.
Ooh, you know what? Yeah, that's fine. Stay with Zamir. I want to say CEH. I kind of want to say CEH if Pacheco is out, but I don't think he's going to be. So you're probably not going to have to make that decision.
Yeah.
Oh, if Pacheco does play, are you still going to play him over Zamir if Jacobs is out?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
just making sure. All right, that wasn't very speed run. Flex, Connor or Cup, half PPR?
Cup.
All right. Bills or Bears defense? I agree with Cup, by the way.
Bills.
Got Bills, yeah. Tua, Baker, Carr. That's easily Baker, right?
Yeah, it's Baker.
All right, I'm gonna go Tua. Falcons or Niners defense?
Niners.
49ers.
Yeah.
Washington 49ers
had a blip there.
gajillion. Yeah, I know. By a gajillion. Superflex championship, Easton, Stick, Hall, Rudolph, or Beathard. Oh, and John's note under it was gross under. I love it. That's disgusting. Superflex, Easton, Stick, Hall, Rudolph, or Beathard.
I think you got to go Mason.
Oh man.
I think
maybe. Yeah.
But
yeah,
if Hall is intriguing, it is. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, Hall's
I agree with you on
staring at
that
me
one.
here. Hall's staring at me here. I'll go with Rudolph right now. This person's name's Tara Robertson. That's crazy. Defense that threw me off. Defense wins championship. Bears or Denver?
Bears. Yeah, exactly. What worried about this team could be in an interesting place benching Russ. We don't know how these players are going to react. We've seen them give up last year. We don't know.
If we see a Chris Welsherson in the chat, I'm logging off immediately.
Tara Robertson, my sister.
Yeah. All right. Half PPR. Pick one RB, one flex. Etienne, Zamir, Pittman, Ayuk. That's easy.
Etienne and Pittman.
Etienne and Ayuk. But yes,
I know you're going to do that.
Of course, I'm a homer. Half PPR flex. Connors or Walker. Also, Connors or Walker. I'm going Walker.
Connor.
Adams or Godwin?
Adams.
Adams also. Ty Chandler or Flowers?
Ty Chandler.
Also go Ty Chandler. We're gonna move around here. Pick two: Singletary, Godwin, Zamir, or Ty.
Oh man. Zamir and Ty.
Zamir and Ty. Yes, I wanted to say Singletary, but I didn't.
I know you did.
I did. I wanted to. I stopped in my tracks. Monty or Aaron Jones?
I'm
gonna go Aaron. Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah, we should go like 1, 2, 3. Aaron. We'll both do that. All right. This is actually a good litmus test. Tua or Carr?
Carr.
Oh my God. Oh my.
It's a good matchup.
Who would you start? Right? Who would you start Tua over? I'm going to give you some names. Hold on. I'm going to give you some names real quick. Would you go? Oh my Lord. Tyrod Taylor or Tua?
Tua.
Okay, I got one. Jacoby Brissett against the Niners or Tua? Tara. Tara.
Given the hamstring issue, that worries me a little bit. I would go Tua.
Oh my God.
Healthy Jacoby.
It's so deep. It's so deep. All right. Healthy Jacoby. Goddard or Likely?
Likely. Bounce back.
Goddard, but yes, I do like Likely. Purdy or Lamar?
Oh man, that one's painfully tough for me. I Lamar by a smidge, like just a smidge.
I actually could go Lamar. I'm on the underpassing yards on Purdy. I also just think they might run all over them. I'm not
True.
opposed to Purdy having 3 touchdowns and like 100 passing yards, but I do think this could be a big, heavy like run. A lot of McCaffrey, Debo involved there. He also says Cup, Puka, Olave, pick 2.
I would go Cup and Olave.
I'll join you. I'll join you on that one's. Higgins or Shaheed?
If no Jamar, Higgins, well, regardless, you know what? I would just go Higgins.
Yeah. Regardless with me too, I'm going to go Higgins. Sit 1, Kamara, Chandler, or Zamir?
Chandler.
Yes, agreed. CJ Stroud or Mahomes? Championship. Can you imagine having both of those? CJ Stroud over Mahomes?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Mahomes. I can't sit Mahomes.
I don't feel like this is the bounce back. It's a get right game, but I don't think it's going to get right to the degree that people think.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We haven't said a single like Rashee Rice question. I love Rashee Rice. I think he belongs in the big discussion of like the big wide receivers. Half PPR, Nakua, Puka, or DeMarcus Robinson, Mr. Touchdown himself. We're gonna go Puka.
Puka.
Okay. How about Sam Laporta or Jake Ferguson?
Laporta bounce back.
Always Laporta. Yeah. Monty Cook or Zamir White? RB2. Cook. Yeah, this is Cook. We've had this. Scared money. Let's see. This is a scared money question. Scared to the bone of starting Derrick Henry. Should I swap him out for Jaden Reed or Singletary? No. Nope. Do it. You got this. LeBron James is in the house. Hey guys, I need your help. Pick 2, Diggs, Collins, or Cup. It's totally LeBron.
Oh man, it is Collins and Cup.
Collins, Cup. Yep. Bye-bye, Diggs. See ya. Eckler or James Conner?
Eckler,
yeah. Oh, are you with me this week on Eckler? Eckler bounce back?
I am. I think it I do think so. We got no Palmer. Like it's just, are we really Quentin Johnson really going to hold it down?
Yeah. Thielen or H-N flex? H-N,
yeah.
Swift or Chandler? Swift.
Matchup.
Pollard or Jalen Warren? Pollard,
yeah. That's the one you'll get me to say.
Oh, how about this? Cup or Rashee Rice?
I would still go Cup. Cup.
Me too. Ferguson, Likely, or McBride for our last one?
McBride. Sorry, I was honed in on Ferguson there. McBride.
Yeah, no, definitely McBride. There you go. Hopefully we got to like most of your guys' questions, at least that were in our portion of the chat. You guys have something just absolutely critical. Send us a tweet. It's Terra time. Is it the Welsh? We'll be answering your questions. You can always hit up the Fantasy Pros channel, answering questions. And your question actually may have been answered from some of the content we've done this week. Matchup previews, props, lines. Terra's been all over the social media. We've kind of done everything. So go back and check it out. I know you guys got big, important championships this week. I'm riding with you. One game today, later up here. We got the Lions and the Cowboys. Everything going down tomorrow, but we are not here tomorrow. And John, do I have this correctly? This is our last one, right? Maybe? Okay, so we got a BP one next week. But that means there's no more Tara and myself. And I just want to give a shout out to you, Tara. You have been phenomenal to work with all season long. I love working with you. I hope to do it more. It has been fun sitting in the same like side-by-side square box with you all season long.
It's been wonderful. You are a wonderful start-sit partner.
Well, we did it. Make sure you follow her and all the social media. Tara is fantastic. You guys are fantastic. John is the best in the business. And I've just enjoyed all my time with you guys. And we'll be doing it a whole bunch more. I'll be seeing you on Betting Pros as well. So make sure you're following Betting Pros, youtube.com/Betting Pros right here on the YouTube for Fantasy Pros as well. Lots of content coming out. Go get those championships. And thank you all. Good luck and take home some big dogs. For Tara, it's Welsh. John, Fantasy Pros. We are out of here. Goodbye, friends.